Anything, yeah. I do anything for some time. I do anything for some peace of mind. Yeah. I do anything get me right. I do anything get me out of my mind. Yeah. I do anything for some time. I do anything for some peace of mind. Yeah. I do anything get me right. Yeah. I do anything get me out of my mind. Yeah. I do anything, yeah. I do anything for some reason, trying to put the pieces, yeah. I do anything, messing around with psychedelics deep in, yeah. I do anything for a reason, just to quit sleeping in. When you all alone, feeling weak, and that's when them demons hit. I've been over my head, trying to keep pushing. Got some hard problems where I need cushion, yeah. Take my mind off it, taking in toxins, I know I shouldn't, yeah. But ain't been no options lately, ain't been so many losses lately. Man, I feel like I lost it daily. I've been running through weeds, chopping up trees, planting my seeds, baby. Stay in my head, I cannot leave, it's like a disease, baby. Going through it alone, whether you stay or whether you leave, baby. So hard to love when it ain't no love, you got what I need, baby. You got what I need. Take control of me, when I'm holding grief, you consoling me. I've been riding for you, know I hold it down, cause you holding me, yeah. Dripping down in my polo socks, strip you down, we gon' throw those off, yeah. Cause I do anything for some time. I do anything for some peace of mind, yeah. I do anything get me right. I do anything get me out of my mind, yeah. I do anything for some time.
Yeah! What is up, everybody? What is up? And welcome to another episode of Lien on Me Live. Good to see everybody here in the chat, as always. I know you guys are asking, where's Paul? Again, unfortunately, Paul did get called into a thing called a job, in which he has. It's this weird thing in which people go to a place and work for money, apparently. And so, no, shout out Paul. Unfortunately, he was called into work and he couldn't make it tonight. But I do have a big show planned and a lot of great topics and things to talk about. So, with that, I'm gonna bring in the first guy because we're just gonna head right into it. And I just realized all of that sounds very, very sexual. The first guy and head right into it. What up, Metaverse? How you doing, man? Good
you had to leave me out on a sexual euphemism in the window. God, Moses.
Listen, I'll be honest. So in the last 24 hours, I have done about, I think, 15 hours of streaming. Somewhere in there. I could be horribly wrong.
15 hours? What have you been doing, my dude?
Hold on. 7:30 yesterday till 4. And then I started at 3:30 today. I'll probably end up going. It's been a while. I've been streaming a lot. So at this point, I don't even know where I am. Somebody said this is a house and I could come in, and I'm just kind of here. But what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Just here chilling, drinking some Dr. Pepper, eating some M&Ms. Coming off of watching Shang-Chi finally.
Oh, okay, very cool. Before we get into that, because we're going to talk a lot about that in the box office this weekend, I do want to shout out our chat. As always, thank you guys so much to everybody who's watching, who's tuning in. You guys are the best. You guys make us do what we do. We love doing it. We love doing it for you and the culture and the whole spiel. It's a beautiful thing. And we got Gabe here. We got H Barts. What's up, H Barts, in the chat? Good to see you. Hey, Stat Daddy Podcast. Shout out my boy Zach, who will be on a little bit later to talk to us a little bit about sports and his new show. We got Gavin, that's right, my biggest fan, Gavin. What is up, my guy? Thank you so much for watching, as always. H. Birds, he said, aka Miguel Diaz. Apparently, I'm Miguel Diaz. Low Big City, what is up? What is up? For those of you in the chat that know me, then you know this is what I'll be snacking on tonight.
Ooh,
Mama's homemade tacos. Mama's homemade tacos.
Hey, that's fine, bro. I'm eating some homemade spaghetti. That was my god,
fire,
dude.
Fire.
My aunt. I will say this right now. My aunt makes the best spaghetti sauce, and she's taught me the recipe, and that will be shared like through generations. That's gonna be like a family recipe, bro. It's gonna be great.
Exactly. Right. H Bart says Austin does not realize he's in Antarctica. Basically, yeah. For me, the sun has been up for the past 24 hours. Austin does not require sleep. Only streams and memes. That's
the streams and memes give you energy.
I
give him all your energy.
That's good. I like that. I want to make that a segment on this show. Streams and memes with Austin. I'll go through I'll criticize memes. Yeah, I'll criticize Fandom Menace and make memes. And there you go. Or
you rate memes, making fun of the Fandom Menace.
Right. Exactly. Rate memes, criticize. Either way, it works. Roblox, what is up? Good to see you. Guys, as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the show, to the channel, as always. We can't thank you enough for tuning in, for watching. We have a lot of cool things and stuff planned over the next coming weeks and months. We have, of course, our Justice League giveaway, which I'm probably is not in the stuff here on this one. Yeah, it's not, but I'll just say we have our Justice League giveaway. So if you become a member this month, membership starting at $2.99, you are entered, or are a member, you are entered to win a copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League on Blu-ray. So check that out. TW McKay, shout out TW McKay.
Hey, there's the boy.
My guy, this is the guy right here. He named the show. He gets all the credit for the name. Shout out TW. Thank you so much, man.
TW's a trip, bro.
Oh, dude, he's great. TW, you're gonna have fun tonight. We got a lot of sports segments and talk to go through.
Yeah, he'll love that.
So you're gonna have man. I'm trying to appeal to my audience. Unlike Warner Brothers Pictures, I like to.
I'm gonna finally. Okay, it's gonna be on this show that I finally spill the beans. I don't hate the lineup that WB has right now. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people. I don't hate it. I think it appeals.
DC lineup?
Yeah.
I think it bad. I'm not judging it until I see it.
No. But it's just one of those things where it's like I've seen nothing but they don't understand their audience. And I'm like, I mean, they got a lot of projects out right now.
Right.
Am I saying they're competent? No, they're not competent. However, the projects they have, never thought I'd see a Static Shock HBO series. Never thought I'd see a Blue Beetle series. Never thought I would see Michael B. Jordan have his own Superman. I'm more optimistic, I guess. I'm just more optimistic.
I agree. I mean, I look, I'm the same way. I'm not judging it until I see it. Look, and I have this conversation, I have this argument with people all the time, and that is, look, if you are out there, assuming or acting like factually what's going to happen in this movie, unless it's been confirmed, by a super reliable source or the studio or whatever, you can't really say, it's going to be this or that because you don't know shit about it, None of us do. Specifically with this Flash room, I guess I would be speaking towards.
Apparently, I am now woke. By Gavin, according I'm woke.
Oh yeah, dude, we're all woke. Dude,
yes, because I want to see different stories and different perspectives told from different people of different origins be told on screen.
I'm woke. I'm barely woke because of all of the time that I've been awake streaming, but I am somewhat.
Hey
what
man,
you would call quote unquote woke. In that,
I love TW so much. Put that comment on screen now, please.
Look at JT.
I ain't woke. All right. I ain't woke. If you go to, I literally like this past Sunday, yesterday, put out my anime tier list of anime I have seen so far. It's not all of the anime that I've seen, but no, it's all the anime I've seen so far. There are some I haven't seen that are on my list that I haven't gotten to yet. But yeah, bro, if you see that list, I ain't woke, bro. I am not woke.
Speaking of woke, let me tell you a guy that's super woke. Not. No, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a massive, massive supporter of the Snyder movement. He's a massive proponent of it with his infamous on release, the Snyder Cut. He's been incredibly kind and an amazing friend at this point to me. And guys, welcome, Ill Life, the man, the myth, the legend, right here. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Sorry, I'm running late.
You know what?
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't end up sleeping last night. I went to go to.
I saw you in the chat. I was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
I couldn't believe you guys were streaming. Like we finished my show, and I tried to go to bed, and I didn't fall asleep, and then I fucking flipped YouTube on, and I'm like, "These guys are still fucking streaming." Like,
we're animals, dude. We're animals.
I can't hate the.
Next thing I know, I was going to work. So I saw
you. You're like, I got work in 3 hours. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? But yeah, man, no, it's been a long day for sure. But thanks for joining us, man. Obviously, you were here the first episode and got to perform and all that. And I'm actually gonna have. So we are gonna be talking music, but we're gonna save it because I'm gonna have some friends of mine. I have a good friend of mine, Willie, that's gonna be joining. He's a rapper as well. So I want to get your guys' take on also like today's music. What are your music tastes today and all that? Talk about your stuff. And then so it's gonna be a kind of loose work. And Ty, as H Bart said here, is off directing a Teletubbies movie.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Okay.
I mean, what Ty does on his time is totally up to him. I just didn't peg him as that type of person.
Uh-oh.
You okay? You're like freezing, right? Is that what's going on? It's gotta... Yeah, I think Austin's frozen.
He's still frozen.
Yeah.
he's lost deep in thought right now.
So here at the Pop Culture Corner.
Oh, dude had to log off. Well, it's my show now. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. No, it
happened to me on my show last night. They were all like on there hosting my show, and I'm like, I had to boot out and boot back in. And I'm like,
it wouldn't be StreamYard. Like, it wouldn't be a StreamYard stream if StreamYard didn't let this happen. Let's just put it that way.
I mean,
it's like a rite of passage.
Last night was the first time it's happened to me on my own show. It happens to me all the time when I'm guest on, but every once in a while it'll just like cut the audio interface off, and like all of a sudden like, I don't hear anybody in the headphones. I'm like, oh cool, the conversation's just going on without me, Dude,
I'm such a moron. Like my very first stream using StreamYard, I'm so used to hitting the leave studio button. I hit that instead of end recording. And so like the end of my first stream, I just dipped out.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't even know people hung out afterward. Like I figured that out by like the second, like from being on somebody else's. I was like, oh wait, so everybody like stays after, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
The backstage meetup.
Yeah. But I definitely I think my first one I had probably like 5 people on, and I definitely just hit the okay, shut computer off when I was done, and they were all probably sitting there like it was my first show, they were probably gonna chill afterward, and I'm like, all right, peace.
Oh man. But
he's probably rebooting his
computer. Oh yeah, dude, is Caden? Oh, I was about to say.
There he is.
Dude, I was so confused and so upset. I was like, no. And then this is the worst part is I thought it was my internet. And then I go to Twitter, I refresh Twitter. Twitter's working fine. I'm like, screw you,
StreamYard.
Thank you, StreamYard. You suck.
Right.
I was telling him they got me last night. Remember, I had to dip out. Oh, you guys were still going, and I left the show and came back.
Really making me consider getting a subscription to y'all by lagging me out of my own stream.
Right, yeah. It's like, this is great.
I'm paying right now too. I'm not even on the free one. Yeah, I know you guys are too. Obviously.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I haven't signed up yet. That's what I'm saying. Like the lag is just like, I'm like, this is making it not worth it to me.
Oh, it doesn't get better once you start giving them money. So that's
I see
great.
people using what's the other one? OBX
Streamlabs
or yeah,
Oh,
OBX
wokeism.
Streamlabs, right? Is that what it's called?
is it?
I know it's got a lot of dope
I don't
features
know.
and stuff, but it looks more complicated to figure out. You know, it's like
Honestly, this is what really happened. I was so excited and started thinking so hard
About
that-
Ty's Teletubby movie.
Well, yes, about Ty directing the Teletubby movie. I got so happy that my Matrix simulation just kind of froze, and yeah, that's what happened. We're going to talk about the Eagles game. I'll be honest, Kevin, and look, no offense, I just realized there's two Philly.
let's
people
not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest. No offense, to you, I love you in life, great, but fuck the Eagles. The Cowboys won yesterday. I know they didn't play the Eagles.
You're a
but they won
Cowboys
again.
fan, dude. Oh
Yeah,
my
we
God.
have an ancient rivalry, bro. We gotta we have a there's look, I went to a Cowboys game once in Dallas at AT&T Stadium. It was Cowboys versus the Eagles. It was
Mhm.
me and my uncle. My uncle,
And then
right,
there was a
is-
bunch of us there, right? Like a bunch
there
of
was
road trippers. Yeah.
bunch of road trippers there, and right next to me, in fact, was an Eagles fan. My uncle, right, he gets super serious
Passionate.
and a little drunk.
Passionate.
That's good. It's what the
It's called-
NFC East is all about. Like,
Right,
you know,
right.
I mean, as much as I hate the Giants, the Redskins, and the Cowboys, it's like there's still that mutual respect that we're like the tough division. You know, like it's
right,
like,
right. And so I made friends with the Eagles fan. Nice of it, very nice gentleman, super nice guy. We were talking, little like, of course, when the Cowboys touch on, yeah, I got you, simple stuff. Cowboys like took a strong lead. My uncle comes like around from the corner, goes in his face. F you, F your Eagles. Gosh, I'm like, yeah, and that was what I learned. I think I was like maybe
I'll tell you
14.
what, dude. One thing with Philly fans is like, any time in my life that I've ever had to like be anywhere when an important game was going on, besides like here, like if I had to go away to a wedding, some shit like that, like, and
Right.
most of the time I'd be like getting pissed about the like, why's your fucking cousin get married the day of the fucking game? Like,
Are you the dude that carries
They
like
had
the
to
portable
choose-
radio or whatever with like the head?
No,
like
but
the-
that's what I'm getting at is like Philly fans will find each other and we will like family up
Do
in
you know
a
what's-
foreign
you know what's-
location,
you know what's going on with the
like
game?
and find
Yes.
like a hotel bar to watch it or something. Like I always end up like
It's just like, damn it, I want to watch the
every
game.
time I'm
You know
in
what's
that
going on?
situation, I'll find like 5 other random people from Philly that are in the same boat as me, and we'll end up watching the game together and like being best friends and following
the
each other
heck?
on social media and shit by the end of it. Like it's like
TW, what are you saying that Mac Jones is Captain America?
Oh, dude, yeah, Mac Jones. Max Jones is captain. TW, I'm sure probably watched a lot of. I think Mac Jones is that movie that we were discussing, the Paul Rudd joke. Probably, I don't know if it was on your Stream of Life or Enosh's. At this point, it all
all
blended.
a blur.
he was talking about Mac and Me with that.
Oh,
80s
Mac and Me,
movie with
yeah,
the alien.
yeah, that's right. See,
Kids.
it's
Oh.
already sorry. Let's see. Mac Jones is captain. Ah, yes.
Hey,
Mac
Again,
Jones is
Gavin
captain.
Cooley, I agree about the NFC West. I didn't really mean as far as being good by that comment about the division being tough. I think it's more about us all going through hard times over the years.
Right.
and
I can't
losses.
believe that. That's how much
too.
things are blending together. I saw
TW, you're breaking
Mac
my heart right
Jones
now,
and
bro.
Mac and Me. But actually, no. Screw the Pats since Brady left.
Yeah,
I have
You're
no
killing me,
attachment to
bro.
Cheaters.
it.
You're gonna make him
Sorry.
come on here in a minute and to defend his Pats. I know
I
how.
know he's like.
I know
you
how
better
Patriot fans
start-
are.
The
Dude,
Eagles
Stat Daddy, get in
organization.
here. You'll love it.
The Eagles
let's-
organization in this city was so Stockholm syndrome from not
Right.
having a steady
Ah,
franchise.
Oh no, he said go
quarterback.
49ers.
Hey,
yeah.
are they? Wait, I could be wrong.
They
They're
just beat
undefeated
us on
so far.
Sunday. Like,
They're
yeah.
undefeated. Yeah, they're. Hey,
But we
man.
were literally so Stockholm syndrome of like thinking that Wentz was going to be this like, oh, like he was the future and everything, that we traded the fucking Super Bowl MVP. to roll the
Right.
dice on a fucking rookie that played half a season. You know what I mean? Like it was the worst mistake this city's ever made, in my opinion. I think Nick Foles and Doug Peterson had a magic once in a generation chance quarterback coach thing going on, like Brady
Right.
and Belichick, that could have like turned into a dynasty with that team if it would have stayed intact. And they just fucking shit the bed completely the very next season and went right back to being the old fucking Eagles we always knew, you know. It fucking sucks. Like,
Dude, the Cowboys do that a lot too. Is they go back and forth from doing things that they used to. Is I was playing some games with my friends yesterday and watching the game. I decided to tune in for like 2 seconds. I'm watching the Cowboys. We have Dak Prescott as our quarterback.
yeah.
And we're doing the running game. Why? I don't know. Why we don't need to run because we have Dak Prescott. We don't
Get
have
that
Tony
cardio
Romo.
in.
We don't have Tony Romo anymore. That guy, it's like
he's always a fucking have someone. Like,
yeah. I mean, so it's like, that's we're undefeated 2 weeks into the season. Shots fired there.
no, I think the Niners will probably have a good year.
I mean,
the Eagles, I don't know. All these people are like I'm getting all depressed about the Eagles, and all these people are telling me what's his name looks good, and I'm like you guys realize like he's like a backup quarterback, right? Like he's not a start. He's not supposed to be a starter. Like in my opinion, he's a backup. Like
my family, my extended family, like my one cousin married a Minnesota Vikings fan, the other married a Patriots fan. So it's like I get my sports from them, and my Minnesota Vikings cousin-in-law, like he's just like, bro, like we're so bad this year. We're so bad. I'm like, I don't know what it means. I don't know. I don't watch.
And then it's like the Sixers. We get the next Michael Jordan, and we lose for 10 years on purpose, get all the draft picks, finally put a team together again to compete, and the motherfucker can't make foul shots. You know what I mean? Like it's always something. We always have some fucking crazy.
I'm personally more in the realm of college football myself, but that's just I mean barely.
In high school, I was really big into it.
I'm basically the only sports I watch are NFL and the Cowboys, and I started to get more into it like a couple years ago. Like now, I'll like in the mornings I'll get up, I'll watch the ESPN highlight shows and all that stuff, and kind of.
You don't like hockey?
Start off with, oh well, yeah, I watch the Golden Knights, but I don't watch football games. I'll watch other football teams besides like the Cowboys and stuff. Like I won't watch hockey if it's.
See, I'm literally like the Flyers and Sixers. Like all my exes in my life, like girlfriends and stuff. Like when hockey and basketball season are going on, the Phillies not so much. The Phillies I'll watch, every few games or whatever, because there's a ton of fucking games with the Phillies, and the playoffs I'll watch. The Eagles I'll watch every game. Sixers and Flyers. It's usually alternates night to night. You know what I mean? Like the Sixers are this night, the Flyers are this night, and it goes throughout their seasons run parallel. You know what I mean? And I'll probably watch at least like 80% of the season and the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like of both teams the whole time. Like I'll try to anyway. Like,
yeah, I mean, now I got the Raiders obviously for Vegas. I'll be watching that.
Yeah, when did this happen? When did this happen? I keep hearing the Raiders went to Vegas, and I'm like, when did this happen? Like, I couldn't have blinked that long. I feel like it's been a few years.
It was last offseason, right? Like last season was.
This is their first year playing.
No way! It feels like a blink and I missed it thing.
Believe, yeah, I think this was their first year playing because the stadium was just. I don't know. It was this year or last year that it was, but it happened like the sale was like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, there you go. Brian knows.
2 years ago, yeah.
Brian knows. Let's see. Oh, Metaverse?
What happened to Meta?
Did we?
I have no idea what happened.
Are you alive?
I'm alive. I don't know why. I feel like I got kicked. Maybe I said something wrong.
No, I don't know what happened there.
It's because I said Vegas has a football team.
I couldn't imagine being a city that happens to. That must suck so bad to like be the city that the team gets taken away from.
Oakland's.
I couldn't imagine if like the Eagles or the Phillies or the Flyers or the Sixers like just went to another city. Like I would fucking blow.
I mean, at least y'all have like y'all's own teams. Like where I'm from, like the Carolinas have to share a football team. Like we just have the Panthers. It's the Carolina Panthers.
It's like for the whole state,
yeah,
right?
not for North Carolina or South Carolina.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, for hockey, we like South Carolina has their own hockey team.
Right?
Yeah, we have our own hockey team down here, but it's like, but it's like for football, it's just like, okay, so you'll have college football separately. Okay, basketball, yeah, okay. Everything in college is separate. What about pro football? You'll have to share. Why? We're not siblings. Like, why do we have to share this damn thing? Like Charleston is, I think, in my personal opinion, Charleston is profitable enough to probably get its own pro team. In my opinion, Charleston and Columbia are like our two, like, or my states, like most.
The Patriots. I never understood like why they weren't just called the Boston Patriots. Like why they were called.
Oh, that is actually that sounds better.
You know what I mean? Like, well, because that's really what they are. It's Boston's football team. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, Carolina Hurricanes. What? Hold on.
That's the hockey team.
I gotta
right?
catch up
the
with
hockey
the chat
team.
here. Let me catch up with the chat here real quick.
Yeah, Carolina Hurricanes.
Just real quick, shout out to everybody watching. Chat's growing a little bit.
I got a fly that's
there's
trying
a fly
to guest in the stream.
attacking, literally, that has been attacking ill life violently.
Because I had my window open for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Okay, right. But let me see. Shout out to let's see. TW. My Blue Jays are giving me a conniption. A conniption for wow, that's a big word. Let's see. You could be from Sacramento and be a Kings fan. Could be worse. Let's see. I mean, NFC East is a question. Anybody can win that division because everybody's get out of here.
It's the truth.
I love
He's
you,
right.
He's
Ill over here is just like, listen, it's a sober punch to the gut, but yeah, he's right.
One of us is gonna make it. One team, whoever wins that division will make the playoffs, and that's that. Like it's gonna be a gimme. Like they're gonna have a bad record probably. They're gonna have like a 500 fucking record and make the playoffs. Like
I'm only like this conversation has been going on like in like my circles like outside of this, and I just have to ask that as a question. It's a football question. Mm-hmm. The podcast that I listen to while I'm on the road on my job, me and my partner listen to it. This whole thing with Deshaun as a player. Do y'all have a take on that, or like, because like I'm just sitting here like I'm hearing some people say it's because of the potential like charges that could be brought against him. Others saying it's because he showed a fit at the Texans. I don't know if y'all had 2 cents on that or not.
What was the? I'm sorry.
Who are we talking about?
Deshaun Watson for the Texans.
I'm not familiar with. The story,
gosh. I don't really pay attention to the Texans.
Okay, so like
that's how I am too. I'm like outside.
Yeah. Okay. So if and I don't know if like I'll summarize it basically. So like Deshaun Watson is from my college. Well, not my college, but like the college I root for, Clemson. He was the Clemson quarterback. He's the one that helped us get a lot of national championships. Really like renowned quarterback. He gets taken to the Texans and they replace their I think the coach, it was like the coach or the GM or something. They told Deshaun, oh, you can have input on this. You'll have input on who we picked, because it'll help you with your offense. That was a lie. He didn't have any put in at all. And so,
nor should he really, but I mean, whatever.
I mean, well, like the way that
that's a little prima donna-ish in my opinion.
There's also what TW just said is also true. Like, yeah, he has allegations of sexual misconduct against like masseurs and masseuses and all that.
So my friend Zach here, he's pretty well versed in the world of football. Shout out my friend Zach, Stat Daddy Podcast. His show airs on Thursdays, so check that out. His YouTube, and he'll be on here later.
Like that's so. It's funny that he says this because like I have family that believes it's the opposite. It's because he showed his ass at the Texans because they wouldn't trade him or anything. He wanted off the team. Like he wanted his contract null and void. He wanted to, leave or he wanted to be drafted. He wanted to be drafted. And the Texans said they will trade him for nothing less than like a 3-star replacement, 3 or 4-star replacement. And yeah, like it's just a mess. Like it's just such a mess.
Okay.
I agree, Brian. I agree with Brian's comment about running style.
watching.
We've certainly gone through plenty of them here, like, and I that's why I wanted to keep Foles, because he knew how to work a pocket, and I was like,
Right.
it was a nice change of pace for us. Like,
I've heard that the Pats want him and all that, but they're like, people are being hesitant with touching him because of, I think, it's either the allegations or because of what he's been doing over at the Texans camp with like showing his ass and all that. They benched him. They've benched him. They will not let him play a game.
yeah, I mean, it's not good. It's not good politics for you, as as far as the rest of the league goes. As far like when they see that you're that type of, what I mean. Like, I'm sure, like,
right.
Yeah.
Ben
Simmons
podcast
has
shit with the Sixers right now. Like,
Says the Texans won't trade him for less than 3 firsts.
Yeah, 3 first-round draft picks. They want 3 first-round draft picks.
Oh, yeah, the Dolphins wanted him.
Yeah, the Dolphins wanted him. That's the other one.
Is he worth that?
I mean, that's what they're saying, though.
Hefty price tag.
That's what there's. I think people are being hesitant because it's Deshaun is a good quarterback. He really is, but it's just like, is he worth 3 first-round draft picks?
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to give up. That's a lot of future to give up.
Exactly.
Right.
But I think Deshaun can do it. Like, again, he won us like 3 back-to-back like championships. Like, Clemson's a very small college. The only championship we won was in 1981, and so up until then, like, it's been 30 years of drought, and now out of nowhere we've won like 3 or 4 national championships. It's insane. So Deshaun is the main person behind all that. So I'm not saying I don't think he's worth 3 first rounds, but he is worth like maybe 1 or 2.
He says he's worth the price. Let's see.
All right, enough of the sports shit. Let's talk about nerd shit.
Right.
Well, hey, you say that, bro, but sports shit can be nerd shit.
No,
You can break it down.
See, my thing is, like, I'm not like, all my brothers, my even my son, they're all like sports people in general. Right. They all gamble on games. They all like. My son and his buddies have like a sports website, like news website thing that they're starting to build and shit. And awesome. I'm just a Philly person. Like, I'm like if the Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, and Phillies stopped existing tomorrow, I could care less about sports. Basically.
Right. I've grown. Yeah, he's like, you can't nerd out. Sports has grown on me over the years. I think because of like my dad has a big love for it.
Hockey, I can watch playoffs if it's not the Flyers.
Right.
There's nothing like playoff hockey. Playoff hockey is fucking
playoff hockey.
The first season of hockey, yeah, I went to we would go to the stadium and watch the games from outside and stuff and all that. So yeah, that kind of got me into it too. But and then obviously, a lot of my friends are like this guy Zach. He does like all the leagues, fantasy leagues, and so he's real knowledgeable about all that stuff.
I mean, it's like I say, like, I
like sports in high school to not get me.
Yeah, I played up until 9th grade, basically. Like, and then I still played like bar league.
I was ultra nerd
when I was older.
I was ultra nerd in high school. I have a Shrek the Musical shirt that I was a part of somewhere around here, so that just tells you where I was.
Well, I mean, it's like I always say though, like, if you're very passionate about something, does that not make you a nerd for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I had a lot of friends that were very passionate about cars and all that stuff. I'm like, the way you're breaking it down, bro, like, is the way I break down comic books. Like,
yeah.
Uh-huh. So you're a nerd for cars, and that's totally fine. Like, it's just, if you're passionate about something, you're a nerd. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I agree. Nerddom can be many a things. But with that, we do want to talk. It is Monday. So I do want to go.
I'm a music nerd too.
Oh, we're gonna get into some music. I cannot wait. We're gonna get into some music. It's gonna be fun. But before we do that, we are gonna talk about the box office a little bit. It is Monday, so we got we want to go over the box office report and see how things did there. So, Caden, if you want to go ahead and bring up the box office little report that you there we go. Cool. So
yes, Gavin, you are.
Dune.
That's Dune. Right. I keep forgetting this comes out like a month earlier for other places, right? Like, fuck, lucky motherfucker.
I think this is so weird that this is out so early everywhere else.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the Snyder Cut. Like.
Yeah, we're not getting it until October 15th. I'm gonna have to avoid all the spoilers. Like, this is the one movie that I'm actually. I want to avoid spoilers. I haven't read the books.
Yeah,
I don't know too much. I want to go
I mean,
in.
I've seen the old movie, but I never read the books. But
Right.
I am a fan of the old movie. I watched it a lot. Like,
I never saw the old movie. I just heard the criticisms about it. But
So
I mean, I very much look forward to this. But I mean, it did well. It did well. 24 overseas markets, and it made $35.8 million. It's not too bad. Obviously, this isn't a very known IP like Star Wars or Star Trek.
it has a cult following.
It does have a cult following. It does. It absolutely does.
I mean, it's got a video game recently, or not recently, but it has a video game out. That was part of that leaked list.
Right.
Isn't there like an animated series too?
There's an HBO Max series coming forward. It seems like Warner is investing in the world of Dune. And so we'll see. Dune ranked number 1 in most international markets and had the stronger turnout in Russia with 7.16 million from 21,000 screens, followed by France, 7.5 million from 892 screens, Germany with 4.9 million, and Italy with 2.6 million.
Shout out to my followers in Italia. I got some. They're awesome.
What up to our followers? And hey, shout out to the Nicotina show.
Nicotina!
What's up, man? I was on his channel earlier, and we just had an absolute blast of a stream. So make sure, and after this, check out the replay on his channel. He does this absolutely hilarious segment called Legit or Bullshit. And it's one of my favorite things.
That's catchy.
I think anybody does on YouTube. It's so great.
Legit or bullshit. That's awesome.
Shout out to Nicotina. Also, he's just been one of the kindest, most gracious people to me since I started. So
yeah, Andre's
shout out to Andre. You're the best, man. Thank you.
I performed on his show too the week after your
show.
Yes,
yeah, I know. And then he started. Ill Life's now making the rounds. I know. Which we'll talk about. I know you got an album.
It's a virtual tour. Yeah.
It's a hey man. In this, you got to do what you got to do. I think that's something new and creative. That could kind of be like a thing. This whole virtual,
the press of the tour with the comfort of being able to sit in your PJs.
Exactly. And then it's cool too if you have like a producer where the performer can interact with the audience at the same time, or with the people in the chat or the people watching.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be an evolution. Like I'll get because eventually I'm gonna just do an actual concert like myself, like a real one, and like have it at a location and stream it and shit, So I think it'll be an evolution of how I end up doing it. It'll get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's only gonna get better, and then also, I'm sure the equipment and it's going to become more friendly. They're going to make it more friendly for people to do those types of things, I think,
Yeah.
As far as the equipment stuff, because I know we had issues with the StreamYard and all that. So
yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, I actually re-recorded the performance from Austin's because there was a lag between the music and my mic that day. But
yes.
So if you go on my channel, there's an extra video of the same songs re-performed, like
exactly
with everything fixed. Like,
and I'll grab the link here in a second and put it in the chat as well. But real quick here to finish up with the Dune stuff. Given its ambitious special effects, it's no surprise that many audience members opted to watch Dune on premium screens. And also because it's not available on HBO Max
yet
in other countries. So they didn't have another choice. I mean, look, I think Warner did screw themselves with this whole contract of day and date theaters. They should have been choosy with some of the movies.
I disagree.
Only because things have gotten more lenient now. I think if things wouldn't have, it was the right move.
They did what they had to counteract Chris Nolan's dumbass decision.
I think with some movies, yes, but I do think. Look, I think Dune should be a theatrical.
I think maybe they should have just cut it off sooner and not said the whole year or so soon.
I've honestly been a massive fan of HBO Max and putting the Warner movies day and date because I saw Shang-Chi today, but I had to cough up like $20 to $30 to go see it, and it was with all that I'm like, God almighty, this is ridiculous. With Suicide Squad, all I had to do was really just go to my HBO Max subscription and play the movie. That's it. I am simplistic in nature. That's just,
I do think with Dune though, I think if they market Dune the right way, they can definitely get the general audience, and it can be huge just based off the trailers and the fact that people are going to realize this is a theatrical experience. It's a, like
Yes.
it's going to be on a big scale.
Well,
It's going to be something people like people didn't know what the Matrix was, but when they saw the trailer and how the effects were going to be and stuff, people wanted to see it in the movies.
Matrix should be because, and here's the only reason I'm saying why is because it's going to hurt. These are big special effect heavy films. Their budget is expensive. I think Godzilla should versus Kong should have maybe waited until later this year to do a release, and maybe would have had a bigger box office to
thanks to the Snyder cut, they didn't.
not even. And then that mess of, hey, let's put those movies out within 2 weeks of each other. I'm
still gonna say it. I had more fun watching Kong than I did this time.
I mean, I understand. It's not like it's 4 hours long, but I'll be honest. As a like comic book fan, I really don't. I think that Zack Snyder's Justice League's up there with Endgame and Infinity War for me. They are those three films,
and
that's
fun. But like, that's just it though. Like the Snyder Cut had to be on Max because that being in it, there's no way that could go into a theater. That'd be a Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 1 and Part 2 type scenario.
I disagree.
You seriously think people are going to sit there for 4 hours?
Wait. I'll tell you what. Look at Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. 3.5 hour movie with an intermission in theaters.
There's been a ton of 4 hour movies.
He did a special tour. He did a special tour for it. I have a road show.
I think if it
would have $300 million, I'm telling you.
If it would have came out in 2017 when it was supposed to, it would have worked.
There's a fan base. There is a fan base for that old theatrical experience. Because he talked about if he put it in theaters, he would do an intermission with a special score from Junkie XL. He talked he talked about you would get like a bill, like a playbill.
It would have been huge, dude. Just the word of mouth, everything. It would have been huge.
Just in defense of Max, HBO Max in general, and I know you just said it's more lenient now, being like going outside and going seeing movies and stuff. But I have family members that are doctors, and they literally. Every time I see them, they've been in such the worst moods because all they can see is just what's been going on with this current event, and as someone who has respiratory problems, it is a risk for me to go out and see a movie. So I have to pick and choose. So I get why HBO Max is doing this, and that's why I fully support it. Also, 20, 30 years from now, we're going to be looking back at this and saying, bro, HBO Max was ahead of the curb because streaming movies is just more convenient for some people over going to see it in theaters. I
do think it is going to get to a point where indie films will not be in theaters, and it's going to be unfortunate. Anything under a budget of $150 million probably won't end up in theaters 5 years from now. I
don't know because
I would hope. I
can tell you here that there's 3 Ritzes
in certain cities indies do better than others.
Indie films are big here.
And the Northeast.
Same time, look at where most of the indie films have gone for the past. Netflix, big on indie movies. Yeah. I know,
Hulu has a lot of good ones too.
And Amazon are picking up. I mean. Manchester by the Sea, Academy Award-winning film from Amazon. Last year most of the Oscars were Netflix. I think Pieces of a Woman, Nomadland. These are smaller budget. Even Joker, $90 million.
I don't consider jokey. I don't.
Yes, and real quick, I do want to real quick, of course, acknowledge, shout out. Thank you, H Barts, for the $5 super chat. You're the best, man. I know we kind of got into it, so I let the chat go here.
Exactly.
He says Nolan did not care about the pandemic or people's safety.
Yep.
And I 100% agree.
That's why I don't think
it by Tenet not doing well.
I love him as a director, but I agree. Yes. He was very sheltered, shut off from what was going on.
Oh, he was so privileged about it. He was so privileged. It's me. I'm Chris Nolan. My films make a lot of money. Why aren't you doing this? Bro, people are literally dying just by walking outside and taking a breath of air. Are you in your own bubble?
I agree. And I'll be honest, just to talk about Tenet a little bit for a second. that movie is a little pretentious.
That's a confusing ass movie.
It's a little. I mean, look, I'm all for the confusing mind. I love Dunkirk and the time thing.
Me too.
Dunkirk isn't confusing though.
Interstellar is.
That's what I mean. That's what I meant. It doesn't make sense, Tenet. There's
Dunkirk.
There's too many holes that just don't.
Well, that's the thing, and he just kind of slaps you in the face because he just goes, "Oh yeah, don't even try to understand it."
This
I got
is the same
2
man.
hours of this bullshit. I better fucking try to
Austin.
understand it. Like,
You forget. This is the man that said that audio is not required to enjoy movies. Dialogue is not required for you to enjoy movies. This man is so. That's why I say he's overrated. I think Chris Nolan is an overrated director.
He is.
He says some of the stupidest things.
Director.
I don't know, but he's made some of the greatest movies in history.
He is, exactly. Dark Knight,
like,
The Prestige,
Interstellar.
Like, my gosh. Like, the dude is...
I just think he's overhyped. Like, I just think he's
getting over it. I think he's
I'm not
in
saying,
his own head
I'm not saying he's a... Like, I say he's overrated, but I'm not saying he's a bad director. I just think he gets, like, so overhyped by people that I'm like, okay, like, let's pump the brakes here. Like what you just said. Like, Tenet, you have... Like, don't even try to understand my film.
Right.
Why would I go see it if I don't understand what's going on? I'm not here to watch a collage.
Exactly. But no, I agree. H-Bar.
Prestige.
100%.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said Prestige.
I love Prestige.
I forgot about that. That's a great one. Yeah.
Sheree, what's up, Sheree?
Yeah, Sheree's been in the chat.
I know. I'm so backed up on the
doing
chat.
What she's
always on mine.
Sheree is doing Sheree things.
Shut it down, Meta. Shut it down.
She's saying that when I was saying about
man. He just said, "I'm just kidding."
No, because I'm like. I'm so used to being people's like butt of the joke that I just go with it now. Like
you've walked into this. Your opinions have got you here. No, I'm kidding.
No, you're not wrong. They have, and I'm fine with that. I'll walk on the bed of nails.
I have some hard takes too. You guys, I don't know if and we'll get into this maybe a little bit later, but I strongly believe Steven Spielberg.
No, Sheree, it is a 3 out of 5 film. I will not hush. Zack Snyder's Justice League is only a bit better to me than the Justice League. I'm sorry. I said it. I'll say it again. I'll say it for the 100 years.
It's a 5 out of 5 for me. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, it's like an 11 out of 10 for me.
I do. I really love it. And that's not like even as a Zack Snyder fan. I think whenever you're doing a superhero team up movie, there has to be this sense of like grand epicness and fantasy.
There's grand epicness, and then there's blowing the balloon out of proportion.
Which balloon? Which balloon?
What do you mean, which balloon?
Okay, look, I'll be honest. Slow motion's a little much. I get that. I feel you there. I understand.
Like it's just
but I think it fits DC perfect.
At some points.
The whole Zack's whole style, everything.
Just certain times, I agree. Like with Watchmen. With Watchmen, I agree. It makes sense for that movie, but like it's. I just don't think it's needed. Like as like some of his like shticks. Like for example, like Michael Bay is known as the boom guy, right?
Brian.
Not everything needs to go blown up.
Brian came at you here. He said, "Hey, you like the Lord of the Rings movies, right? Those are 3 hours plus." And
I actually don't like the Lord of the Rings movies.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Metaverse was here tonight. No, I'm kidding.
No. Hold on, Austin. Let me dig my grave even further. No. Let me dig my grave even further. I thought the Hobbit movies were more enjoyable.
Motherfucker.
No, I'm kidding.
That's a hot take. I mean, I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings person, but I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. I am 1000% kidding. Sheree, no. Why do you hate me? Why do you hate me, Sheree? Why do you hate me?
I know I was cardiac arrest, so
that was a joke. That was a 100% joke, by the way. Dude, I have to go back and rewatch the Lord of the Rings films. I've only seen the original versions. I haven't even seen the extended cut.
Look, I saw them for the first time last year in the pandemic. I got them on 4K. Loved them. Really, I really, really, really loved them. I think I'm gonna make it like a yearly thing. I'll watch.
Sheree, why would you say these things? I am joking.
Oh my god! Ladies and gentlemen, he's alive. Ty Roberts is in the chat.
Ty's been in the chat, bro.
See, I'm so backed up. Hold
on, Austin. Watch this.
Caden, take over the chat. I can't do this.
Hold on. Watch this, Austin. Ty, I still haven't gotten to the boys yet.
I didn't even do that one. You pissed Kaden off. You pissed Kaden off. That's what you did. I didn't even do that.
Explain
You pissed
yourself.
Kaden off.
I
Did you
thought it
watch
was cool.
Invincible? Did you watch Invincible?
I did watch Invincible. I enjoyed
okay.
that.
Kaden, you want to explain yourself on that one, buddy?
Explain yourself.
It's me.
What in the world? Why are you so jacked up on these things? Oh my
Caden.
God.
Caden.
Kaden's the nicest person I know. You pissed off Kaden. bro.
Listen, Caden, it's not that I have like an agenda against to not watch The Boys. It's just I haven't had time. What the hell's going on?
What is
I was gonna let you. I was gonna let Kaden and Meta hash it out for a second, but I
don't have an agenda to not watch this show. Again, it's just that like no,
It
Caden, let me
is
explain
good,
my
I
schedule to you, dude. Let me legit explain my schedule. Wake up at 6 a.m. to go to work. Drive for 2 hours. Go to work. Drive 2 hours to come back.
God.
Drive back. Go to eat and go to sleep, and then rinse repeat. I only get 2 days off.
Good
You
Lord.
Only
have-
so much I can do. Cut
You
me
know
some
what?
You
slack.
can lay in
Let me tell you
bed,
something, Metaverse.
and you can lay in
Metaverse.
bed and go to Amazon Prime.
I don't
and
have a
watch an
Prime
episode
account.
every
All
night.
I hear are excuses.
I don't have a Prime account.
Okay,
How
I'll
are
send you
able
my
to watch
login. I'll
Invincible?
send you my login on Twitter.
How I was
tonight.
able to watch Invincible is I went over to a friend's house.
I'll send you my I'll DM my login to you on Twitter. You
Shree,
have no
I am not
excuses.
enjoying the lack of love for me in this
Boo-hoo,
chat.
crying a
It's just
river.
not okay.
I've actually watched Invincible a couple times already. I've
I-
watched
and-
it
like
and
3 times.
rewatched. Like, yeah,
And this is the other thing, and it's also I am going to be like 5% petty here. I'm getting sick of my friends comparing every like omnipotent powered like sociopathic hero to Homelander. Like I'm trying to watch Invincible and enjoy it. Oh, Omni-Man's like Homelander. I'm like, please don't do that ever
Because
again.
you don't even understand the reference. That's why.
No. But it's just like I hate when people compare other villains and all that to like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, they do share like the same this outline, like in terms of like who they like their power sets and everything, but they're different characters. Like that irritated me. Yes, Sheree, 5%.
Sharice Savage, boo, cry me a river.
Sheree gives me no slack at all. Like she keeps me supposed to try to keep me in check.
God.
Yo.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, this is why you bring me on, is because I get the
Metaverse,
chat
use my
active.
account.
I can make the chat active.
Gavin is my Gavin's my groupie at this point. He's my main supporter.
Listen, I can stream 23 hours a day. All right.
But yeah, dude. Honestly, Metaverse, I will send you my Prime account. And
I'm good, bro. My friends can send me
Yes,
theirs.
Sheree.
No,
Yes,
there
Sheree.
are no
Like,
Son of a-
excuses.
That's what I'm talking about. She's doing
No,
this on purpose now.
He's more like Omni-Man, actually.
Caden, I will find you.
You
Stop
won't find me.
comparing. You don't
won't
know what
find me.
friends I have.
Oh God,
You don't know what.
seriously, come at me.
Come
Not
at
you,
me.
Sheree.
Not me,
You were
bro.
Caden.
Speak.
You don't say come at me, bro, if you don't mean it. Like where
Come
I'm
at
from,
me,
you
bro.
don't say come at me, bro, and don't mean it. Like that's just how it is.
Come at me, bro.
Sheree, why are you? Oh my god.
I love it. I love it. All right, now here's another hot take you got to say. So you saw Shang-Chi
I finally
After-
saw Shang-Chi.
Oh.
Yeah.
about 4 weeks after the rest of the world watched it.
I
Again, because of work.
I don't even care. I'm like, I really don't want to see it. Like,
Excuses.
my son wants to take me for my birthday, and I'm like, let's just go see Free Guy. Like,
Are you not a big Marvel like?
I
movie
mean,
guy
not
right now?
really. Like, I like there's I like Winter Soldier a lot, and I like
Okay.
the first
Yeah.
Guardians, and yeah, they're the only ones I really rewatch. Is those two, honestly. I mean, I watched them, I like them, but I don't really ever go back to them. You know, they don't really have rewatch value to me. Like,
Right.
They do for me, but that's just because I have like
I will be on. No, that's true. Like, okay, so like
As
the
Metaverse
first
eats
Avengers
cereal.
did not age well. First
wait,
Avengers,
what hasn't aged well?
the first
Oh,
Avengers.
the first Avengers.
I can
no,
go
it
back
hasn't.
to that.
I
once in a
disagree.
I
Like,
can't.
if it's on
I
TV,
can't.
I
you
love
know,
it.
like that.
Dude, the first
Incredible
Avengers is
Hulk,
the best
first
one for me.
Iron Man, like-
I think that one and
I mean, some parts.
that one
like,
and the second one are.
I have a minor nostalgia for the first one just because it's like as a kid who grew up watching the animated shows and like read the comics, like seeing that's like that iconic shot of them being in a circle, like to
Right.
me that just like that's gonna forever live rent free in my brain of like, yes, this was
Right.
the start of it. And oh my god, like I just never thought I would see that stuff on screen, and it was just exciting for me as a kid. Like again, like these movies started coming out when I was in middle school, so like it was just like a fanboy's dream to see all this happening.
See, the funny thing is I do like with Marvel, I actually like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and the Fox X-Men more than I like the MCU, you know, basically. Like,
is it because it's more self-contained?
It's not because it's more self-contained. I just like I don't know. It's like I just don't like that. Like it like the MCU. It's just too commercialized. It's too general audienceized for me or something. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like the Fox X-Men, especially with the second gen after the Days of Future Past first class generation and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, like they were trying to do a more grounded, serious take kind of than what they were doing with the MCU, you know. So.
I'll go ahead and give another hot take then about Garfield Spider-Man. I prefer the first suit over the second.
Yeah, me too.
That first suit is fire.
I
love it so
love
much.
It. Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
I'll say this: I hate TASM, like both TASM movies, but I do, and I'm willing to give Garfield a second chance, both in No Way Home and TASM 3, if there's new creatives involved with TASM 3.
Honestly, Part 1's my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. Like
I
as
love
far
them
as
both.
live action goes, you know.
I've
like,
said
I love
that, like,
them both too, but Part
I feel
1's
like
my
it
favorite.
ruined
Like,
some of the mythos
So
and
okay.
lore of Spider-Man.
So I feel like I do have to explain, right? The first two Avengers movies. I don't think they aged very well. I think when it came to
Age of Ultron's just bad.
in Infinity War and Endgame and Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think those movies, like the first two Avengers movies, don't even hold a candle or a torch. Like I understand, right? Yes, Avengers will always, Avengers will always be the first big superhero team up film. It will always.
It'll go down in history for that.
It will 100%. It will always be, and it was good when it came out. I thought it was good. I don't think it aged well. I don't think it will age. I think Endgame and, like I said, Infinity War and Zack Snyder's Justice League are going to age far, far, far better.
Can you explain why?
Out of curiosity,
it's the grandness. It's the scale. I think it once it got to honestly.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Gavin's comment.
Oh God, what did you say?
I put Gavin in a mood.
What did you do? What did you do?
I pissed Gavin off. I think
you're right.
I think Metaverse has just put me. Oh no! Oh, what if
no? Age of Ultron is not. I'm sorry. No, forget.
I agree. I like Age of Ultron better too. Even though I don't like Age of Ultron.
Hold on, Kate, Austin, I got you. Forget Endgame and Infinity War for just a moment. But between Avengers 1 and 2, Avengers 1 is better in my opinion, and here's why. First off, I hate how they handled Ultron. Ultron was not as ruthless as I think he should have been. And like, oh my God. Like I didn't like how they handled Ultron. And then the whole ScarJo Ruffalo love story was just such bullshit to me. I hated it so much. And it's for a simple fact. It's for a simple fact that, and I understand that Universal has.
Joss Whedon saw Hulk as a monster rather than a Bruce Banner.
Oh, also Joss Whedon's a piece of trash. But go ahead.
Yeah, he is also a living sack of human garbage, and I will but yeah, like I just like Bruce has only forever and always had eyes for Betty Ross, and that's why I just like this is not real. No, I can't accept this. This doesn't make sense. Like, and the only reason they did it.
Hey, Metaverse.
Sun's getting real low.
I'll say this.
Yeah, that scene, but with Thor.
There's a difference between when Ultron was created in the comics and Ultron was created in the movie is because Ultron in the movie was reacting to the real world events that have happened to America, like in the world, in like real world, stuff. Like because in comics they never wrote in some of the real world stuff that happened.
I just didn't like his snarky personality. Like they gave Ultron like a snarky personality, and I did not care for it.
That was the.
I liked it just because I like James Spader. I thought.
James Spader's a fine actor. I'm not hating him as an actor.
I think it was because of the Tony personality.
Like no, like you're why like.
Because it was a mixture.
Well,
of
in the
Bruce Banner and
comics,
Tony
it's
Stark's
what's his name?
mind.
Ant-Man's the one that.
And
Yeah,
Hank
Hank Pym and
It's
Tony are the
Pym
ones
with
that
him.
make him, but in
Yeah.
the like that's the thing. Like, he's never had like a personality, as it were. Like, he's been he is an artificial intelligence, but he doesn't have like a personality. He's just like this cold calculating machine, and that's what I was expecting. And instead I get him going, I got no strings, because I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like,
Yeah,
Your
I'll be,
whole-
you know what? I haven't seen
the
I
first
saw Age of
monologue was good.
Ultron
But then
one
again,
time.
that's what Marvel does, though. That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean about the movies. Like look at Civil War. They reduced Civil War to that fight in the airport parking lot, and I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but it
like
fucking
DL.
sucks. Like,
Shout out to DL. Like, the way
compared
he
to the
explained it.
comic, it sucks. Like,
Yeah,
I do like Civil War. I do like Civil War. I like Winter
There's
Soldier.
like certain events that they'll adapt in the MCU from the comics that there's such a low bar for them.
So here's my hold on, because Sheree made a point that Universal doesn't want to give Betty Ross back to the MCU. Then why was she allowed to be in the What If episode?
Because it wasn't Liv Taylor. But also
and plus the animation
because
and
the
live
She-Hulk.
animation
the-
live action contracts are probably different too.
Yeah,
I would imagine. Like,
Universal does the live action, while Marvel still has animation rights to all of their characters.
no, yeah,
but
like even
live action
X-Men,
rights
everything.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, they have animation rights to everything, but the live action rights to Hulk, like full live action rights.
If
to
they're
Hulk
trying to redeem Hulk, if they're trying to redeem the Hulk with She-Hulk and all that, that's the first step forward. But you have to go more modern with how the comics are doing it. Like, bring in Red Hulk, bring in Red She-Hulk, like that's who Betty is. She's Red She-Hulk, and you got to bring in the entire Hulk family basically to redeem him at this point, because.
Well, She-Hulk's. Yeah, I mean, that seems like what they're probably going to do.
I want them to
bring
get
in
like
Scar.
I want them to get like Red Hulk, Bernthal's Punisher, Deadpool, and like maybe the Elektra from Daredevil, and make like whatchamacallit,
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, out of
Yeah,
it. Like
yeah.
that team would be dope, dude.
That'd be
Like,
sick. That'd be really sick.
There's a comic I have where it's like Red Hulk, X-23, Agent Venom, and like this female
Agent
Ghost
Venom,
Rider.
yeah.
Dude, that would be an awesome team up movie. I actually would like to see that.
The Thunderbolts have had some great lineups, at different times. Like,
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Marvel Comics either, so I am a little bit, but I gave up on Marvel Comics a long time ago. I am going to start reading again though, because Tom Taylor is doing the Dark Ages right now for them, and I'm hearing.
Have you read Avengers vs. X-Men?
I think so. You know what? Yes, I have.
I mean, that's incredible. It's
Yes.
really good.
Yes.
And the after books, all the tie-ins.
I don't
It's a
know if
great
I want to see
story,
that.
like.
I don't know if I want to see that in the MCU though, because like you just said, ill about how they handled Civil War. Like, I don't think they can do that.
They would never. Yeah, it would have to be like 4 movies long. Like,
Right. I really like Civil
phase.
War as a Captain America movie, but not as a Civil War movie. Yeah, okay. I just said, okay, I see that.
Yeah. By the way, with Gavin, I hate to go on into the side tangent, but Gavin brought up about anti-venom. Bro. Hit
Real quick. Let me shout out.
yeah.
Let me shout out A-Sparks with another $5 super chat. Dude, thank you so much. You're the best, man. And because of that, yeah, I'll tell you what, by tomorrow I'll have all of Cobra Kai watched just for you. But
Guy's the shit.
Let's see. I love Marvel, but they need to go dark. They realize kids play violent games nowadays. Right? No, I agree. I think
they need to go semi-dark.
To that point, I like the Netflix stuff better than the MCU.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Like I love Daredevil, Luke Cage, Punisher. All,
they're gonna be, and that's why they're gonna be bringing those characters back. It's just like that's why I'm so scared about Moon Knight. I'm so scared of it being on Disney Plus and not like Hulu because
it should be on Hulu. You're right. Yeah.
But here's the thing: we don't know. There's Moon Knight is a good year off or a little more. We don't know what Disney has planned. By then, I have a theory. I do really believe that pretty soon here, like maybe within 6 months or less, there's going to be like how they have in Europe, Disney Star. There's going to be that here in the U.S.
Well, that's Hulu here. That's if you watch the
I don't think
they say that basically.
But I don't think they're going to put the Marvel stuff on Hulu. Maybe
No,
the
that's
off
what they
stuff.
said.
Like,
They said
they
the
have
adult.
they have
They said the
MODOK.
adult Marvel stuff will be
on
the
Hulu.
adult
Yeah,
content will be on Hulu.
That's why they had like that.
Logan's on there, Deadpool 2's on there.
They had that god awful MODOK animated show on there.
The
I think it would be-
MODOK
MODOK
show.
was
Yeah.
amazing. I liked it.
I think it would be
No.
smartest for them to all of that stuff needs to be on
Like-
the same platform.
I agree.
have a
I think
question.
it's confusing that they're using
Yeah.
Hulu as that outlet.
Austin,
Yes,
I got a
think it's
question,
stupid,
Austin.
yeah.
How well do you know Moon Knight as a character?
I know a little bit. I know he's got the like multiple like personalities. or
I want to
types
see
of-
that, but I also like if they bring in Blade and the vampires. I just
know
want to
he's
hear Oscar.
bloody and brutal. Yeah,
I want to hear no. I want to hear Oscar Isaac say like, "Where's Dracula? That punk ass owes me $20."
Right. I mean, no, I think they. Look,
Shit.
I tell you what. If anything, What If was there were surprising things like they did straight up cut Captain America in half, show some nice blood squirting, and show some heads. And I
Y'all
was
were
like,
right about that episode, bro. That was lackluster. I'm so upset.
okay. Oh yeah, the zombies episode was terrible.
Yeah, and the most recent
I
one was
like that.
Killmonger.
That's my second favorite one, the zombies one. I like that one. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I didn't like that. I thought that one and Killmonger were absolutely
The
horrible.
Killmonger
Yeah,
one
I
made
didn't
me
like the
so
Killmonger
mad.
one?
I was
Yeah.
like that could have been like some like high class
What a-
like.
What a waste!
I like
to
the
bring
Star
back
Lord one
Michael
and the
B.
zombie
Jordan
one.
and waste that whole episode.
I was
like,
partially right, by the way. I partially called how that episode would play out, but it didn't happen the entire way I saw it because I thought Tony would just go like full Ironmonger, basically. Like he would be the Ironmonger instead of turning into Iron Man, and just be like this like big and like representation of like capitalist society, like how it takes over. Like
Right.
it was gonna be insane, bro. Like I thought it was gonna be more wild than it was, and it just underwhelmed me.
No, I feel like yeah, Moon Knight. I really hope Moon Knight is towards like more like the Netflix shows, but we'll see. I mean, obviously, where
You
They-
have
it
Jeremy
does feel
Slater and
Disney's
like a
pushing-
really good directors that did like crazy bonker stuff.
right? I know the action sequences. I saw some training videos.
Because
with
it's
Oscar
Yeah,
like
no,
Isaac.
not
even
just that, like-
Mandalorian. It's like Mandalorian. It's like they'll have like really good like start to go in the dark direction moments, but it's like the whole time you got Baby Yoda in the backdrop. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like,
Right.
and I feel like something.
I just
similar,
witnessed a hate crime.
something similar could happen with the Marvel shows to where it'll be like dark toned and everything, but they'll be like
if you
some
bring in,
10-year-old
like-
kid that's a main character.
If
you
you
know
get
what I mean? Or
Blade-
something like
They have Blade coming. They have Moon Knight. They're I've heard rumblings they're going to bring Ghost Rider in. You can get the Midnight Suns going, and that could be your dark like team
Right.
up.
Who would you want
dude,
to do?
I don't really
Midnight
like the
Suns?
show as a whole, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. killed it with Robbie Reyes. That
Oh,
fucking Ghost Rider
they
season
cast
was
him-
amazing.
I'm fine with Robbie being in it, but I really want to see Johnny first. I really want to see Johnny Blaze so
I
bad.
want to see Dan Ketch really brought to the screen because they were teasing it in Ghost Rider 2, and then the series got cut off and it never happened. But because I grew up like John Blaze had the beginning run in the 90s, and then he became Johnny Blaze, and Dan Ketch took the Ghost Rider mantle on. And most of my beginning in comics in the 90s was like Dan Ketch was the main Ghost Rider, you know. And I like there still hasn't been any.
Well, I mean, with
adaptation
how
of that really like.
with how Ghost Rider's spirit like transitions between people, like I just want like a good trilogy with Johnny, and then the spirit gets passed on to the next person.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then Johnny can be the
mentor.
mentor. I'm fine with that 100%. Johnny being the mentor, but I just want a good Johnny Blaze trilogy because like that was the Ghost Rider that I like grew up on, man. I just want to see it realized. And Robbie Reyes is probably going to be like my second favorite because I've seen like a lot of some.
He
of
is
him.
really good, and it's a
I'm like,
totally
yo!
different spirit too. It's a serial killer spirit, and
Hell
him,
yeah,
it's not
bro!
the
I
same
love it
as,
so
like
much.
Johnny, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, so you're like, if Marvel plays their cards right, I think they're trying to do as much as they can now. Like, get the Midnight Suns going, get the Thunderbolts going, get basically give every other team or faction in Marvel a chance to shine. And then like later down the road, we're gonna get another Avengers movie, Avengers 5.
Right.
But like Midnight Suns, the Illuminati,
even Dark Avengers,
Avengers.
Thunderbolts.
Like, yeah,
I
With
really want that.
Dark
I would want that to be a
Avengers
series.
with, Valentina Contessa, the girl who showed up in Falcon Winter Soldier.
I'm sorry, who?
Val, who showed up in Falcon Winter
Oh,
Soldier
Val,
and Black
yes.
Widow.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna be building the Thunderbolts.
Dark Avengers.
Dark Avengers. Is it the Dark Avengers?
Yeah.
You can't. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. You can't have Dark Avengers without Norman Osborn being Iron Patriot. That's just it for me. That was awesome. I loved it so
I
much.
so bad wanted the blonde haired dude from The Leftovers, the HBO show that was Flash and the Andrew Garfield, like for him to become Agent Venom eventually. Like I feel like if Garfield's universe would have kept
Agent
going,
Venom
it
is so
probably
good.
would have happened, you know, like. But I can't see I'm sorry, like I can't see the kid in the MCU version being Agent Venom like that. No, that's not
right.
I don't know. I just don't see that. Like he's not tall enough. He's not big enough. He's not.
I mean, the dude can get like pretty swollen. I'd believe it. Like, yeah. Gavin makes a good point. Sentry. That's another big thing of the Dark Avengers was Sentry.
Sentry. I'm sure I hope it would be cool if he was teased in Guardians 3.
That would be cool, actually. I also like, and we're not going to get this because we're just not, but another big thing for me was like Ares was like their Thor, and then you had Matt Gargan Venom as Spider-Man for their group. I love the Sinister Spider-Man comic. That's one of my favorite comics. I just think it's so funny.
Sacha Baron Cohen as Ares will be funny.
Who?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
As who?
Ares.
He's the rumored Ares for Thor 4.
What?
Yeah. Elsa Fisher is also like all those people that are hanging out with them are possibly in Thor 4.
God damn it, Gavin!
How do you
Why
go
did you have to
from
say that?
having Russell Crowe as Zeus and Sacha Baron Cohen
As Ares. No Hercules yet, though.
Well, yeah, the Russo brothers are working on that.
Gavin, why did you have to say Sentry's like the Homelander of Marvel Comics, bro? You didn't have to do that to me. You did that to me on purpose.
Gosh.
You throwing that bad shade at me.
Coming at you, bro.
Oh, my God. Sheree, don't encourage him. Don't encourage this bad behavior.
Well, real quick,
God.
onto our next topic here. Another topic that you just love, Metaverse, before we get into the gaming stuff. Before we move on. Lord of the Rings. There's some news about Lord of the Rings. The Amazon series. I love Lord of the Rings, man. I think it's phenomenal. But the original composer for the film trilogy is in talks to return for the series for Amazon. So I thought that's pretty.
Who's the composer? Watch, I'm going to say something nice about Lord of the Rings.
Caden?
Who's the composer?
Caden, who's the composer? Caden?
Huh?
Oh God! Yeah,
Who's the composer? Yes.
You have that article, right?
The composer for Lord of the Rings. I'm going to say something nice if I know the name.
I was really into them when they first came out, but
Howard Shore.
I lost the interest. Like
Howard Shore?
Yeah.
Howard Shore. Okay.
Howard Shore is to Lord of the Rings what John Williams is to Star Wars.
You're so full of bullshit.
What? That's a compliment. I've only seen Lord of the Rings movies once, but I will say the one thing I remember fondly is the score. The score is fantastic.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty epic.
And that's what I'm saying. Like his music goes with Lord of the Rings, just like John Williams' music goes with Star Wars.
I agree. I thought you were being.
You thought I was just saying that to be a shitter? No, I meant that. I was being authentic. I can be authentic.
I'm sorry. I mean, look, I think this is great. I think I hope. I think from what I'm hearing, this show is going to be like connected to the films. It's going to be in the same universe and take from or take. I don't know. I could be wrong, but as far as what I've heard, that's it. So I would think that that's a good thing to bring Howard Shore back to keeping that continuity as well.
I think it's going to be really good, and it's going to lose a bunch of money. Is what I think. I think
Really?
they're banking. Well, with the budget they're spending on it, I just think they're putting way too many chips in their basket.
Million.
Yeah, like I think they're overestimating the audience it's going to have. That's
Here's the thing: like Amazon is kind of like Microsoft when it comes to buying studios. Like they can just do stuff and not worry about the profit because,
true.
like,
they have so much over. Yeah.
Bezos literally just makes money sneezing. Like,
Yeah.
Two seasons cost $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Like they bought MGM Studios, and I think he did that just for the lulz. Like he's just wanting to show, like he's wanting NASA to like let him in, basically. Like that's where he wants to go next. So he doesn't care about anything his company's doing.
Yeah, him and his family are gonna be living on Mars pretty soon, so
Yeah.
we won't be worried
Yeah,
about
better when
that.
he's on.
H-Part says Game of Jarbo. Oh my gosh, he tells lies.
Oh, and the 2 Game of Thrones prequels are filming. I think one wrapped already.
And are those on Amazon or are those on
Oh,
HBO?
those are
HBO Max.
HBO. Those are HBO. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
one's
I'm pretty sure the Sopranos prequel comes out in like 2 weeks. Don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sopranos,
Middle of October, right? Like,
The
October
Saints of-
15th.
of
that's
New
going to be a
York.
day and date. That's like theatrical.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
HBO Max. Like,
And see,
Apparently
that's another one that I think that one's gonna really obviously not make a big box office. I think people are gonna.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though.
I
The
think it'll
Sopranos.
do
The Sopranos is
I
on
hope
HBO
so.
Max.
Yeah.
The Sopranos is on HBO Max. So what? Like, if someone like really has interest to watch The Sopranos, like all the stuff, like they just watch the series and then watch the movie,
On HBO.
and or vice versa.
I think once they start really putting the trailers out on TV and everything, like,
That's the other thing. Yeah, marketing
it's
just
gonna
hasn't
hit
been
with the
big.
general audience, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it
know
was supposed to come out in the movies in the summer of 2020, and COVID screwed the whole thing up, and it's been pushed back like 5 times now. Like, it's been done. Like,
It's been.
Right.
It had the New Mutants.
Punisher's playing Tony's dad.
Dark
He's gonna be
Phoenix.
dope, dude.
Oh wow.
It's like Tony Soprano's dad. Like,
Oh, that's right, John.
Oh, Frank Grillo.
it's John Bernthal.
John
Yeah,
Bernthal.
Oh.
Yeah. And Ray
Grillo's
Liotta's in there. They got
Crossbones.
some big.
yeah. Ray Liotta's like the older, the head of the family, I think, at the time. Like,
Right.
yeah, they
And,
just put a trailer out like
isn't-
2 weeks ago, and it looks good. Like,
Isn't who's the guy that speaks in Sopranos from the grave?
What?
Like there's like the narrator of Sopranos. Like
Oh,
speaks from the grave.
oh.
That's what
Wait.
you call like a narrator that is dead that is telling the story.
Narrative from the
Speaks from the
grave.
grave.
I don't think Sopranos. It doesn't
There
have a
isn't?
narrator. No.
Imagine.
I feel like
I mean, you see a lot of it. You just
Wrong-
see it
wrong
from all
show,
their
kid.
perspectives, but it doesn't have a
I think
narrator.
I'm thinking of the wrong show. Maybe.
Yeah, you are. I think you are, dude. Like I don't
Yeah.
remember a Sopranos. Like Sopranos is the one that cut off in mid sentence. Excuse me.
Right.
Oh, I was like, did
Mid-what?
I cut out?
At least we know that the Sopranos will be cut off in mid sentence.
Each person's De Niro in The Irishman kicking.
I
the
love
guy.
that scene when he beats
No,
the
no,
shit out the dude.
no,
for his
no, no.
daughter.
Oh yeah, he tells his
Or,
daughter, "Just wait here." Just
Dude, he
Yeah,
almost like
like, wait
fell and
here,
broke
walks
his
in
back.
like-
He almost fell and broke his back during that scene. But the one that gets me is when he kills Whispers. Like he just like nonchalantly walking down the street, shoots him, and then it's like he just speeds up walking. I'm like, what was that?
he just keeps moving.
I keep
Yeah, I
moving
love
this shot.
I love Irishman. But the next thing we want to talk about here, I know metaverse. Now it's time.
It's time. All right.
time.
We're
We're
on
gonna
the
be talking.
M&Ms.
We're gonna be talking a little bit about gaming version and what's happening in the game world. A couple things were announced today.
Gaming.
New Star Wars game was announced today. Look at that. Oh.
This is awesome.
What's it?
It's
What's
by
it? A
the people
sequel
who
to
did
that?
Detroit.
A sequel
No,
to that game?
it's just so
It's just open world.
could I take the lead on this one? I have
Go
a
for it.
question.
No,
Go for
you
it.
cannot.
Caden.
You see, you pissed him off. You pissed off the one.
Caden,
nice
just
guy.
because of that,
Detroit.
I'm going to ignore the boys for 2 more weeks. Now,
Anyways,
Oh, I did not
it's
do
the
that.
people who, it's the people who did
See that?
Detroit
Do you see that?
Human.
I can bring you back in,
And-
but I didn't do that.
shit!
I didn't do that.
Oh God, he kills me with that.
He has power. He's getting power. I'm telling
Oh,
you.
he has unlimited power cables. But no. So what I was gonna ask was, who is familiar with Quantic Dream as a game studio?
They did.
I don't know who they are. I know
Not me,
what
yeah.
games they did. I
So
saw
the
that.
first game that got a lot of it, well, it's kind of a cult classic, but the first game that got attention is a game called Fahrenheit, where you basically this is like before they went into like the more story driven gameplay, but this is like the only game they have where it's like you are found guilty of a crime you don't remember committing, and so like it's kind of like
Memento.
prove your innocence type of game. And then they made Heavy Rain for PS3, and that was a big one for PS3. It was exclusive. Then they made Beyond Two Souls, and then they made Detroit Become Human, which Detroit Become Human is a fantastic story for sci-fi. It's a great sci-fi story. I love it.
Yes.
That's why I'm excited that they're making a Star Wars game.
Yes,
Open
that
world.
yeah.
And to see, I wonder if it's like, because we all know that the majority of Star Wars games are like quote unquote canon to the. So I wonder if this one also will be that.
Yeah, they're the ones that did Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is I still haven't gotten to that one yet, but I've heard it's really good. Beyond Two Souls is the one that has like Ellen Page and William Dafoe in it.
Oh,
That's the one.
I didn't know they did that one. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
bro, if you haven't played Detroit Become Human, like it's probably my favorite one that they've done. And it probably will be even after I play Beyond and Heavy Rain. Like it's Detroit, and like the thing about Detroit is like if we're not careful, we're going to be living in that scenario with artificial intelligence. That's all I'll say about that. And it doesn't go down the Terminator route. Well,
we got some Ex Machina stuff happening.
Well, I mean, like put it this way: if artificial intelligence keeps going the way it does and it gains self-consciousness, it's going to ask the question, "Do I have a soul?" And if it asks, "Do I have a soul?" then yeah.
Then I will be starting the Resistance. I will change my name to
Caden.
Connor.
Not Caden. Sorry, Austin, bro. That's exactly what happens. Basically, like you basically start like you basically
watch the Animatrix.
You basically. I don't want to rewatch that. Don't. You can't make me. But you basically like decide like, are you gonna go?
We're the bad guys.
Oh my god.
We're the bad guys. If you watch see the Animatrix, they talk about the beginning. The robots like wanted to make peace with us once they got consciousness. They were like, they were like any other like, race that was kept down and like wanted equality basically. And we were like, fucking kill them before they fucking take the world over.
Basically, it's like it's like that, but not as violent. It's like that, but not as violent. But it's like the parallels between like how the story plays out for androids and how like the civil rights movement happened is kind of like you can either be like the Malcolm X or the Martin Luther King Jr. for androids, and it's the coolest thing ever, bro. Like it's just awesome.
That does sound dope.
Oh, and if you die, you depending on like how you so the characters can die, and depending on how they die, they can either be brought back through a new body or they're just perma-dead. So yeah, it's awesome. Detroit Become Human is an awesome game, but yeah, them making a Star Wars game though, and they're so known for like story driven games. Like, oh my god, they have to be making a dope story.
Yeah, I think that's an exciting thing. They talked about there's going to be a multiplayer element to it as well.
There's going to be Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting.
Historically, even back to, we were like me and Enosh were talking about last night.
Yeah.
Like even back to Super Nintendo, like Star Wars games have always been hitting.
Star Wars is
there haven't
that
been
jam.
many Star Wars games that weren't great. Like, and then like Revenge of the
ones
Sith
on the Atari come to
PlayStation
mind.
2 was incredible. Like, and then even Force Awakens were great. Like Star Wars really hasn't put out the franchise hasn't put out too many bad games as a whole in history.
Like I said this to Ambassador the other night on my stream. Like I am that much of a Star Wars fan. Limited Run Games has been re-releasing all the old Star Wars games physically. I have been buying every single one of them that I possibly can. PC, PS4, Switch, doesn't matter. I have been buying them. I'm that much of a Star Wars fan. So I have the old school TIE Fighter. I have old school X-Wing for DOS. Like I am that much of a Star Wars nerd. And I love it. People are like, why would you play this game? I'm like, bro, it's not about the graphics. It's really about the gameplay and also like the historical like context of this game, because like before we had like Starfighter, I think is the name of the recent EA game they made. That's a good game, but that to me is just like a more like next gen version of TIE Fighter and X-Wing. It basically just is. But yeah, like this is what happens when the EA exclusivity deal gets thrown out the window. We get like Quantum making a Star Wars game, Ubisoft making a Star Wars game, which that can go either way, but
right, yeah, that's true. I mean, I think this is a good company to be doing a Star Wars game. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
in the KOTOR remake, can't wait for that. But I do know there's a Metaverse. You're doing a little something, man. You're leading a campaign. You're pulling a release the Snyder Cut.
I am, bro.
You're starting a hashtag.
Yep.
And you're doing it for the Spidey fans out there. You want to tell us a little bit about what the
So recently, comicbook.com broke a story that Activision and Marvel were very close to remastering Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time for modern consoles. And it fell through. And it fell through because Activision pulled on Activision and got greedy. And here's how they were greedy though. They wanted to do more of their games. And they also wanted to try to get like the license back to make more Marvel games. Which, I mean, if you think about like the 2000s for Spider-Man games, like that was all Activision. Activision made every Spider-Man game from like 2000 to like 2000 and when did Amazing Spider-Man 2 game come out? Like 2016, 2015, 2014, 2015. Basically like 2 decades almost of making nothing but Spider-Man games, and almost all of them are amazing, except for Amazing Spider-Man 2. That one is bad. Do not play that game for the love of God.
I even like the PlayStation 1, like the Sinister Six one. That was awesome, like with Electro and all.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah, dude. Like I
love that game.
My first Spider-Man game was Spider-Man on PlayStation 1, and I fell in love with that game. I as a kid took an entire summer. It took me an entire summer to beat it, but I felt so accomplished when that happened. And it's one of my favorite Spider-Man games. And it's still beloved to this day. Like shout outs to my boy Super Swim Team 7. He did like a whole like 20th anniversary celebration of the game. And the community for it still, like, they do mods and everything. Like, it's just insane.
That's great. That's cool.
Yeah. And so like Cherie, I knew that was coming.
Come for me, man.
I knew Cherie would be the one to do this. Do not take this away from me, please.
Don't take this away from me.
I need this to happen. So no, like, okay, so here's my thing, right? So again, like Activision has made you have my thread pulled up.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and read through it?
A few years ago, well, if you want me to read it, I can, but I can summarize it.
Whichever you
a few years ago on PlayStation 4, and I'm so glad I noticed this. A few years ago on PlayStation 4, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 dropped digitally on PlayStation and probably Xbox too. And I was like, there was no announcement, no trailer, no hype trailer to like hype it coming back, nothing. It just dropped like how certain albums do. They just silently dropped it. And I bought them. And then a few months later, they were delisted. And I'm thinking, why the hell would they do this? Come to the article that comicbook.com put out. They did that to like gauge interest. And that was like the beginning of them like going back and remastering Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions. But those are the only 2 Spider-Man games from Activision that I have not played. I've played every other Spider-Man game except those 2 from Activision. Yeah, H-Parts. Web of Shadows is dope. It's a cult classic.
Web of Shadows is a good one.
I still have the pre-order shirt from that. It's in mint
condition. I remember
condition.
Edge of Time. I think I had Edge of Time. I think Edge of Time is pretty good too.
Yeah, Edge of Time was the one that was a sequel to Shattered Dimensions, which in a way Shattered Dimensions.
Miguel's in it, right?
Yeah,
like,
Miguel O'Hara and Peter Parker. Yeah. So like my whole thing is like Marvel backed out because Activision wanted to do like make more new games as well as remaster more old ones, and I'm like, why shouldn't they? Because the way I see it, it's just like what's happening with Star Wars is a great comparison. Disney owns Star Wars too. Star Wars is making new games through EA, Quantum, Ubisoft, but Aspire's doing the KOTOR remake, but Aspire's also been bringing back Episode 1 Pod Racer, Racer's Revenge, Bounty Hunter, Republic Commandos. All the old Star Wars games are getting all these like ports and physical re-releases, whereas like Marvel games, like there's a lot of fantastic Marvel games from the 2000s that everyone remembers fondly. So as far as Spider-Man games go, there's Spider-Man. Everyone calls it Spider-Man 2000. So Spider-Man 2000, the sequel, Spider-Man 2, Enter Electro. Then there's the Raimi trilogy games, which Spider-Man 2, PS2, and Xbox, like that version is still one of the best Spider-Man games ever made.
Incredible.
I have a hot take. Ultimate Spider-Man was after that, and I think it's better than 2. So that's just my opinion. But Ultimate Spider-Man came out, and that's a fantastic game. That's the first game where you get to play as Venom. And that was like fantastic as a kid for me. I love that. And then you have let me think of the train. Then you have Spider-Man Friend or Foe, which isn't it's it's not as beloved as the other games, but it's a good beat 'em up for Spider-Man that has all the Raimi villains and Raimi character or Raimi versions of those characters in a beat 'em up game. It's fun. Then you have Web of Shadows, which literally had an infamous style system of you can make Spider-Man good or bad, and the web swinging was fun, and there's like a lot of cool mechanics from that game. Then there's the Amazing Spider-Man video game that's a new tie into the movie. Like that's also fun. There's like so many good Spider-Man games, and the fact that like the video game industry doesn't have a good history of preserving itself, and ways to help that are for remasters to come out and just backwards compatibility in general. But because companies want you to keep buying their products, and remasters and remakes are the only way to do it, that's fine. That's why I'm trying to start the hashtag remaster Spidey. Because
I mean, movies do it from format to format,
exactly.
Yeah,
because there's like I've heard rumors too about the GTA trilogy that they might be remastering that, like the Vice City and San Andreas and Liberty City or whatever. Is that what it is? The old ones.
Yeah. They're supposed to be
the PS2 ones.
Yeah, they're supposed to be. The leak came out that they're supposed to be remastering those games.
Yeah,
those 3 games.
I would love that. Honestly, I'd go back and play all them and on a new gen system. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
They should do that with big games like that. I feel like, definitely. Like,
and in like Spider-Man 2000. I mean, they remastered Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. They remastered all 3 Crash games and all 3 Spyro games. I don't see why they couldn't do it with Spider-Man 2000 and Spider-Man 2 and Electro. Like I was coming with I'm probably going to drop this tweet tomorrow, but like you could do this in a way to where like you could bundle them where like it's the PS2, it's both PS1 games for like $30 if it's a remaster, $40 if it's a full-on remake like Crash or Spyro. A high res remake of the Raimi trilogy games, bundle that and sell that for $30. Like you can do this, and it 1 preserves them, and 2 it gives us a way to enjoy past like gems that are comic book games on modern hardware while we also enjoy the modern ones as well. Like I would love playing Spider-Man 2000 on my PlayStation 5 as much as I would Spider-Man 2, the new Spider-Man 2 coming out on my PlayStation 5. Like
absolutely, yep.
It's just about preserving it, man. So yeah, like remaster Spidey is the trend I'm trying to get going, because Marvel Games needs to know that we Spidey fans, the Spider-Man universe of fans want this, man. Like I'm trying to get this thing going and trying to start it up basically.
I agree. I'm with you. I would love to have those games remastered. I'd love to have the Amazing Spider-Man games. I'd love to have Web of Shadows. I'd love to. I mean, look, and H Bart's also brought up real quick, because I think I've answered this before. And actually, my excitement is growing more and more for Venom 2. But are you guys excited for Venom 2?
I am very excited, but for probably different reasons.
I'm excited, but if what I heard about the bonus scene, then I'm less excited.
That's where me and him are different. I am more excited because a certain bet between 2 people that we know, Austin, gets settled.
I want Andrew with that world. I don't want Tom. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like I was hoping that this multiverse thing was going to split it so that Tom stayed with Disney and Andrew got to go back to Sony, basically. Like,
I agree. I think that I would, but you know what? That's still plausible, because from what
that's
I've
true
heard,
with the whole Spider-Verse thing going on.
It's still a thing. It's still, we just don't. I mean, I would love. I think Andrew needs to come back as Spider-Man and finish off that trilogy. Give me that universe
with Tom Hardy too. Like him and Andrew would be perfect against each other. You know what I mean? Like.
I agree. But Ace Bars did mention here too. So hashtag remaster Spider. I'd love to see these games remastered as well.
They were good games. So way better than the movie.
So good. Dude.
So yeah, with that, what you need to do is Origins Wolverine just needs like a little bit of a high res remaster. Wolverine's Revenge would need either a very good high res remaster, or you could actually do a remake of it if they wanted to. But I doubt they will. But yeah, like I want all these old Marvel games to come back and be like through backwards compatibility or remakes, remasters. Like, yes, we haven't had a good Hulk game since 2005.
You know, another one that is very, very remaster worthy. Fucking Path of Neo, the Matrix game.
Oh
The
my
second one where you play as Neo and you use the Matrix
Yeah,
powers
not-
and run
not
up the
Enter the
walls
Matrix,
upside
though.
down and all.
Not-
like, yeah,
not Enter the Matrix. That
sucked,
game is
yeah.
broken.
The second one, Path of Neo, is amazing. Like, you literally are Neo and you kind of play through the story of all three movies through the story. And like the way that they incorporated like I remember with the PlayStation 2 controller, the way that they incorporated like hitting the one button to like turn the force on, like the
Oh, yeah, it was
Matrix
awesome.
power.
It was
And
awesome.
you could like go in the slow-mo and like watch where the bullets were going and dodge them and run sideways up the walls and shit.
I gotta remember though.
The
Did Mad Max
mechanics were incredible? Like,
did Mad Max come out before or after that game?
Mad Max.
Mad Max, not Mad Max. I'm sorry, not Mad Max. Crap, the Rockstar game. The Rock. Oh my God, really? Like Max Payne.
Oh, Max Payne. Okay.
Max Payne.
I think Max Payne was like right after. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, because I'm trying to like remember like which one did the slow-mo game mechanic first.
Well, I think Max Payne existed as a franchise first, but I don't think they had done that in the games yet, in the earlier ones. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I could be wrong, but
because like I'm getting at it basically like if the Matrix games copied that game mechanic, it's literally the game franchise that makes the most sense to copy it.
yeah. But I just remember like for that time, I don't remember there ever being another game where like you could do some of the shit you could do and it felt so fluid with your finger motions. You know what I mean? Like not
PS2 was
buggy
able
or
to
anything. You know, like
the PS2 was able to get away with actually some surprisingly good graphical games, as well as gameplay was just like so buttery smooth. It's like insane that a PS2 could pull that off. At some point. Like
I remember the elevator scene where they come into the lobby and you have the whole shootout, you know, with the beams and all the part in the first movie. When they do that scene in the game, like you feel the intensity of the whole scene and the bullets flying everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And, like it's crazy, dude. You're like running around, dodging behind the beam things, like breaking one of the guards' necks before they turn into an agent. And like taking their gun, running out and like doing a somersault through the air, like you know what I mean, as you're jumping and shit. Like
Speaking of Matrix, I am super excited for the Matrix Resurrections. I know people are like about it. I'm
excited but cautious.
I love the idea.
I'm just
That's
worried
the
it's
best way to put it.
I'm just so excited about the world. I love that world. I love
definitely
that universe, and so.
I just hope they really had a plan that made sense to go back in, and they're not just doing it for the sake of cash grab and nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like, I hope they have a good
which I would hope
concept that's going to catch us all off guard. You know, like
it's called Resurrection, right?
Yeah. I would hope not, because it's not like Keanu needs a check or anything.
Dude, Keanu's in like his prime right now.
Right, he's doing fine. So I would, and he'd always said that, he'd only return to it for. If the story was right and all that stuff. And so I would hope so. But at the same time, it is Warner Brothers. So fuck Warner Brothers. But
H-Bart's also, H-Bart's brought up the Hulk games. Yeah, those are awesome.
Yep.
2003 Hulk game isn't as bad as the movie, but Ultimate Destruction will forever be the best Hulk game ever made until they just make one that's damn near like builds upon the mechanics that one did.
Kier said Matrix Online was hilarious because everyone was dancing.
So they shut off the servers. That's great.
Like, all right, no one's taking this game seriously. Just pull the plug.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Nobody's doing this anymore. But onto the next big topic before we get into like all the music and kind of random stuff. And that is this weekend or this past week. It was Batman Day, and I know for a lot of us, for me specifically. Batman, I think, is probably my all-time favorite superhero character. I grew up watching. Gosh, where did I put it? Oh God, here we go.
The animated series.
Yeah, I grew up watching this. Pulled this out today because I have a couple of the DVD box sets. Batman the animated series, like Justice League.
The Batman is also like doesn't get enough credit, but it's a damn good follow-up to the animated series.
The Batman shows, and I didn't really watch a lot of it. But
have you ever had the interest to go back and like fully sit down and watch it though?
No.
I'll say this: it does a good mixture of like the dark seriousness of the animated series, while also in some parts mixing some of like the funny moments and jokes and stuff of like the 60s show. It's a good blend. Like it doesn't like go full 60s or full animated series, but it finds that good balance.
Yeah, I got that vibe just kind of from some.
Plus,
of the
Adam West is the mayor in that show, and that's just all kinds of amazingness.
Oh, what are you talking about? Brave and Bold?
No, that's the.
No, I think he's talking about the Batman.
The Batman.
Where Joker had the dreadlocks and shit.
Right,
Dude, my boy pulled out one of the best Joker performances ever. I love Michael. Oh my god, dude, Michael's an awesome Joker.
I haven't seen it, but
I don't know. Yeah, I've given that one a chance, and I don't know. It doesn't really resonate with me.
Gavin also makes a good point. Batman v Dracula was dope. That was awesome.
I remember that one was a DVD. I still never saw it, but I mean that's the Justice League stuff. My first Batman movie was my stepdad showed me Batman Forever. So that for me will always be. I know people that I loved it. I still to this day I think it's one of my guilty pleasure movies.
I mean it's not as bad as Batman and Robin.
Hey, I think chat.
Val Kilmer is phenomenal as Bruce Wayne. I think he kills it in his Bruce Wayne scenes. I like him as Batman too. I thought he was a good Batman.
I mean, if you were a kid at the time seeing it, it's like the perfect lane for you. You know, like at that time.
I was obsessed with Jim Carrey as a kid as well. So Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
I was a kid seeing Jack Nicholson as the Joker. You know?
Right. Also, the Batman Beyond series was really good. I remember watching that.
Yes, and I have been wanting forever a live action version of that.
Oh gosh, yes, that would be fun. And I love how Justice League Unlimited closed the gap on that.
Not even that. Yeah. Not even that. Bruce Timm and Dini deserve a freaking medal for how they come full circle completed Batman as a character. Because
all those shows are what that's the Timmverse.
The Timmverse. But here's my thing though: the very first scene in the animated series of Batman is you on leather wings as you see Man-Bat flying through the city, his silhouette, and the last shot you see of that universe for Batman is Terry in the bat suit doing that same silhouette, and it's the same shot. It's like shot for shot the same thing, and I'm like, that's beautiful. Yep. That is so beautiful.
So for me, that was the big start. Was all that stuff, and then also this was my first comic book I ever got. Not this edition, but The Dark Knight Returns. And I will say
I lost my copy.
That was a big element when they announced Batman versus Superman. Dude, I remember watching that live stream of Comic-Con.
It was a great day.
And Snyder goes, I'd like to bring somebody out to read a line that
you're like when we were all on the same side. Warner Brothers was like the good guys,
Dude, and that scene, oh my gosh, I brought it. I want you to remember my hand at your throat. I want you to remember the one man that beat you, dude. I love this.
And all the years to come, in your most private moments.
Stayed with me mentally. I'm like, there is. I love
the animated movie was amazing.
Phenomenal.
Oh, that's Jay Oliva. That's
so good.
He directed it, and I think did some of the art for it.
Let's see. Michael Kevin Murphy, or am I getting it? Nope.
Yeah. Michael Kevin Murphy's the one that did Joker for the Batman, and it's one of the best performances as Joker next to Hamill.
Absolutely, dude. You're invited anytime. I'll send you a link right now, actually. No, man. All that stuff and these comics, I loved watching situations where Batman, especially as I grew older, where Batman was really morally challenged with the Dark Knight Returns or Under the Red Hood, and that situation of what do you do when it gets so personal, and all that, and he still keeps...
Dude, that original comic run is incredible. It was such a big point for me too, the Red Hood run and everything.
Yeah. So what are some Batman moments from your guys' time that kind of stick out?
It's crazy for me. It's crazy. I always say, because when I was little, my dad had a comic collection that he neglected. It sat in a trash bag in our basement, and it was full of Batman comics from the 70s. No bags and boards, nothing. It was a travesty. But
please tell me it was salvaged though.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, thank God.
To an extent. But
there were some casualties.
So I would always look at them as a little kid, and I'd always watch the reruns of the Adam West show and shit. And then like I got a little older to where I was like more in the Star Wars and shit. I kind of forgot about that. But then when I hit like 10, 11, 12 and started like going out on my own, getting a little bit of my own money at birthdays and shit like that, I started going to I had a comic store a couple blocks away from me. And I happened to just become the age where I started buying my own comics and getting into comics. And then I started working at the comic book shop in my neighborhood right at the time when like Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke, Death in the Family, like all that happened right at that time. And was my intro to like Batman on my own. Like Dark Knight Returns was the first Batman book I ever bought with my own money, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and like took home and put in my box and was like, this is my, you know, my collection. I mean, I was all in the X-Men at the time. I was more in the Marvel, actually. I was in the like X-Men.
This is Spider-Man, the 90s, right?
Punisher, the 90s, yeah. We're
talking
this is
like the are you talking about the Jim Lee run?
Well, even late 80s, okay. Early 90s,
okay.
You know. Yeah, and yeah, like and then like Executioner song and all that stuff too.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, and I'm thinking like at the time when like I first, because when I bought Dark Knight Returns, it had already been out for a couple years. Like and Killing Joke like just came out right when I started like really collecting, you know what I mean? So my intro was Dark Batman, you know what I mean? Like I like for me, Dark Batman was the beginning for me. Like I came in at that changing point in his history, kind of where things got really a lot more serious and everything, you know? So, and then 89 came out right after that. And it was like a fucking event. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
Enosh just felt like
I had the novel, I had the trading cards, I had fucking the comic adaptation back then. Like, I mean, I knew the whole story of the movie before the day it even came out in the movie theater, like because I had read the novel like 3 times already, the novelization of it. You know, like it was such a big deal that like the serious, you know, back then we thought like it was like the serious take of Batman coming out. You know,
right?
And then from there, like, just was a regular subscriber for a long time, and then up into like the Red Hood storyline, you know, like was like in the, what was it, like around the 650 to 665 range, I think, in the issues when the Red Hoods, when he came back and everything. And then I went into a lull for a while, and then got back on board like right around 2009 and went full subscription again and went through the end of the old into Flashpoint and the New 52 and all, and have been back on board since. Pretty much.
I would dare say that the Court of Owls is still probably one of the best modern Batman stories.
Oh, like, absolutely.
Period. Yeah. Like that's insane.
Yeah, Court of Owls is phenomenal, and I really hope that when I think it's the Gotham Knights that might focus.
Yeah,
on that,
Gotham Knights is coming out, and I am so hyped for that. And like that's what I'm saying though. Like people.
Well, the funny thing is when I got back on board, it was really because of Dick Grayson Batman. Like the thing that kind of brought me back to Batman was like Final Crisis was really where I jumped back in, and Batman got killed. Well, we thought he got killed, but he was really going through time and everything, and but yeah, and then Dick became Batman, you know, Battle for the Cowl happened, Dick became Batman, and then the Grant Morrison run of him, and, you know, he makes Damian Robin, you know, and Bruce comes back to life and is like, why is my kid wearing a Robin costume? You know what I mean? Like, that all,
I'll say
that. That's where I fell off around the Damian time. I wasn't a big into the Damian.
That was the best time for Damian when he first comes in. Like that's when I fell in love with him as a character, because he was vicious when he first came from Talia and shit, and like he almost kills Tim, like puts Tim in the ICU the first night he meets him in the Batcave and shit. Like, yeah,
go to pinch his cheek, you lose 3 fingers. Basically,
he brings a head back to the Batcave, the Dick, and he's like, "Look, I got the bad guy. Like, Dad's gonna be proud, you know."
Dad's gonna be mortified.
Yeah, he's like, "You can't just kill people. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?" Like,
shit. No, I mean, I don't know why I never get, and I still have to read some of the. You sent me a list, Ill Life of, and I have it in my notes.
Yeah, from all that time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have
Batman Incorporated too.
Batman Inc. is awesome.
Pre and after New 52 is all good. Yeah, that all ties into Damian shit. You know what I mean? He actually dies in the 8th issue of the post New 52 Batman Inc. But leading up to it, that it's weird because when the New 52 happened, it's like that storyline kind of transitioned through it. Like little changes happened, but it was like as if it was still existing in the new timeline too. Like things went similarly, I guess, you know, kind of thing. Like,
Right.
Because it was like the whole Leviathan thing with Talia and all that shit, was going on. And so, and he basically goes around to like every country and sets a Batman up in all these different countries.
So
he sets
awesome.
like Luke Fox up, as like Batwing, and like there's like Japanese Batman and all this other shit. It was really good. Like,
right. I mean, I do personally. My favorite Robin is Jason
I
Todd.
think it was Morrison. Morrison wrote it all.
You really okay?
Oh
that's
yeah,
all.
I know.
So wait,
I know.
wait. You like Jason Todd as Robin?
Yep.
But
and as Red Hood. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I don't know why I did like grow up like kind of like in acting and doing all that. So like my dream has always been like, let me play Jason Todd. I feel like, oh, there's a lot of meat to that character. Like as an actor, there is a lot.
I liked him too as Robin. I voted. Don't kill him.
I know he was annoying, and I know a lot of people, but I thought I liked that because you had Dick Grayson was just the complete opposite, and
it depends which Jason Todd too, because similar to like what happened with Flashpoint in the New 52, back at the time when Jason Todd came in, a similar kind of thing went down in the comics with whatchamacallit, Infinite Crisis or whatever happened back then. And the first version, like the second version of Jason Todd's the version that gets caught stealing the rims.
Yes.
Like that's after the universe rebooted, but he existed briefly after Dick left and New Teen Titans and all that shit happened. But it was like different. He wasn't like the same street kid and everything in the first version, exactly the same. He was like, I think he was actually like an acrobat, like Dick or something like that. And then they decided to change it after Crisis and made him like the street kid that was stealing the rims off the Batmobile and everything,
Yeah.
And I like that version. I thought I liked that Robin,
I did too. That's exactly. And then
the Death in the Family animated movie is like a weird thing for me because like it's like a multiple choice like movie, like you direct where it goes, but the endings with Jason are all just so damn interesting.
I haven't watched it because I refused to watch it on HBO Max.
Because that's what I did. I didn't watch the Blu-ray, and I hated it because I'm like, they took Under the Red Hood and chopped it up and made it worse.
They did that, but they like the alternate endings as to what happens to Jason. Like some of them are just awesome.
See, I haven't done that. I got to get a Blu-ray and actually do that. Yeah, and check it out.
And putting it on Max was just dumb. Like I'm sorry, like that movie has
Under the Red Hood's in like my top 5 of the animated movie. Like it's amazing.
John DiMaggio.
I think Under the Red Hood could have been theatrical. Like Master of the
Phantasm. Was so good. That was so good. Bruce Greenwood was Batman, phenomenal. And then,
and the Joker the guy that played Joker, like
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio. Neil Patrick Harris was Nightwing.
Do tell the big man I said hello.
I love it.
That was a great thing. The black mask in there. I loved Under the Red Hood.
I loved him in the ending. That was hilarious.
I'm trying to remember what.
When he has him tied up and all.
Like when Jason has him at gunpoint, like it's either me or him decide, and he throws the gun, and Joker's just like
you got to give the boy credit for coming back.
You expert, eagle-eyed, rootin' tootin', goth-loving marksman.
He's like, how about he's talking about these? Like, let's get some pictures. How about one of me, then one of me, him and the crowbar? He's
like, ooh, get one of me and the kid first, then you and me, then the 3 of us, and then one with the crowbar. I'm like, that's awful. Like, oh god.
Ooh. Shout out! Oh, what's up, Integrity? Haven't seen Integrity.
What's going on,
Integrity, my guy. Good to see you back here, man. I'm so happy. I missed you. He said I just made an Under the Red Hood fan edit, added 11 minutes to the movie, expanding the story. It's send that my way, Integrity. Which here, Integrity, I'm gonna put my email in the chat so you.
I still gotta check out that Billy Idol song, Integrity. I fell asleep when I got home.
I kind of want to entice y'all to encourage y'all to watch the Blu-ray. And the only way I can think of doing that is like tell you like one of the like minor ones.
Okay.
So like of course this is one of the openings. So like it's well known, Jason was decided by the fans if he lives or dies. Well, one of the choices is he gets to live, but he lives to the explosion, and it's just like he looks at the Bat family now as like this sick not like disease or anything, but it's like he just like resents them for like what happened. Like, how could you let a boy willingly go into a war zone and all this stuff? And I'm like, and I'm just like, bro, like you chose this, like you chose to do this, like
right.
But like at the end though, like there's this is the last like quote unquote spoiler I'll do, but like this is the one that I love so much. There's one that's even like more darker than this one, but it's like something happens to Batman and like Jason's in like a diner and he's talking to someone and all of a sudden that person he's talking to starts quoting the joke of there are these two guys in a lunatic asylum and one day they decide they don't like there and like you can tell who this person is basically if you know what that joke is from. And it's just awesome. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. And when Jason finds out who it is, oh yeah,
that does sound cool. Then I do want to check that out.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. That's one thing that's always been quite questionable about Batman's character. Like the one thing is like, why are you getting these like 12-year-old kids to go out and fight criminals with guns and shit? You know, it's like
bro, like after he
that's the interesting part. Titans addresses that I like. You know, especially this last season. That was interesting.
I just remember like after the guy tells the joke, he just looks at him and goes, "Well, you know, if I see him, I'll make sure to tell the big man I said hello."
Right.
And it's just like, oh shit, dude. Jason's awesome. I just find it interesting you like him as Robin because like he's like from what
I like him as Robin. I like him as Red Hood. I just like Jason. I like the character of Jason. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I mean, as Red Hood, I'd like especially since he's had Red Hood in the Outlaw, like had the solo comics now and everything. Like,
I love the Outlaw so much.
I love the first run. With
him Arsenal, like,
dude.
Oh my god,
so good, dude. Like so good.
I want that to be a game.
I think that's what the show's going to do because they have talked about doing a Red Hood in the Outlaw spinoff out of Titans. I think it's going to be him, Corey, and Arsenal is going to pop up, and that's going to spin off into the other show. That would probably be better.
That would probably be better and more successful than Titans.
I mean, don't get it twisted. Corey, at one point or another, Corey bangs every Robin base. I don't think she's banged Damian yet, but she's banged all the other ones like at one time or another.
Speaking of banging Robins, I have to ask this question: have either of y'all seen have either of y'all read Three Jokers?
No, and I'm going to.
I read it.
Okay. So ill. I have to ask, like the relationship that they tease in that between Jason and another member.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
I really want that to be explored. I really do. I want to see what that relationship would be like in the comics, but they're not going to do it, obviously. But God, that would have been awesome to see.
Yeah.
Allow Jason to heal some of the wounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Cerise said, Meta, what are your thoughts about the Gotham Knights game coming out?
I am so excited for it. I think this game is going to give the side characters their chance in the spotlight, and we might see more projects come out because of how successful this game will be. We might see a Nightwing HBO Max show. We might see we're already getting a Batgirl like HBO Max series, but we might see one for Nightwing. Like Il just said, Red Hood and the Outlaws might even have more of a chance of becoming a thing if this game sells well. And Tim Drake can do whatever Tim Drake does.
That is a good point. It's a good field tester for the characters, you know.
It is
like in the general public and everything. Definitely, like
also like this game is like W. Montreal's been working on. So at first it was going to be the leaked. It was going to be a leaked Damian Wayne Batman game that was like tied to the Arkham series, but then that got scrapped. And they used like some of the assets left over from that were already made and they put those in Gotham Knights.
Mm.
I definitely think with them doing it, it's going to have an awesome fucking story. Like the story.
Oh, absolutely.
Fun ride.
Arkham Origins is
it's my favorite story wise.
It's the black sheep of the Arkhamverse, but it's so good.
It's so great. The whole Christmas Eve and everything.
Absolutely.
Every Christmas I play it. Like it's like a Christmas movie to me. I always want to replay it at Christmas time. You know, like,
shit. What's the Batman story that takes place around Christmas?
Not
like Long Halloween, but there's like a Batman Christmas centric. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of
that suits in the game.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, like it's just awesome, and like I love that I have a Batman.
It's something winter, right?
Yeah, it's like something. Shit.
The long winter, or nah, because that's too
Something,
much like the long Halloween. But it's something
Right.
winter or something. I think.
Yeah, it's good. Like, and I also just love the fact that I now have a Batman and Spider-Man game to play around Christmas time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I love Batman the character, and obviously he's been around. I'm also really looking forward to the Batman movie coming out next year. I think that's gonna be really good. But with that, as we kind of get into the last 20 minutes of the show here, I did want to talk about some music. Obviously, Ill Life here is a rapper. I don't know what happened to my friend Muley. I don't know if he's gonna be able to make it or not, but just kind of talk about your origins and things like that. But real quick, let me catch up with the chat here because they're having fun. Let's see. Dude, Joker in Arkham Origins is so underrated. Oh,
Troy Baker does a
Arkham
fantastic
Origins
Joker.
is bad. But that's a conversation for another day. But
Wait,
Troy Baker
what?
is good.
The first
Troy
time
Baker-
you play it, the black mask reveal when you realize it's him,
The
not
Joker.
Black Man. Yeah, that part's great in the storyline. Like,
Oh my god!
I didn't even finish Arkham Origins. I got about halfway through it and I was like, this is dumb, and I stopped.
oh, it's so fun, dude. The story's so good. Like,
Still, the part where he breaks character is like still one of my favorite like Arkham Joker moments ever.
yeah.
But let's see, Bad Santa. Oh, there you go. There's another. We'll make a Bad Santa game for you too to have during Christmas time.
And you know what? Another thing too. Let me just say the part. I usually get annoyed in the Arkham games, and it traditionally I've gotten annoyed by a lot of the like figuring the riddles out and shit like that. But that part in Arkham Origins where you recreate the gunshot pattern in the bar, like that's like the most realistic, like him doing the detective shit. Like, and it's actually cool. Like, it actually makes it fun. You know the part I'm talking about where the 3 dead bodies and he's like using the goggles. And you got to figure out how the bullet bounces through the window.
So like Arkham Origins. That's one thing Arkham Origins doesn't get credit for is that like it was more of also like they added more detective stuff for Batman to do than the other Arkham games
in a really good way. Like they made it more complex but more fun at the same time. Kind of like it was cool how they did it in that one. Like
I agree. Yeah.
I
think your mic cut out, dude. Your mic cut out.
My mic cut out. Or
no,
wait,
Illife's mic cut out. Like right as he was talking.
Oh shit. While he fixes it, there's also a PS Vita game that's also a part of it. It's like Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. It's a fine Metroidvania. It's nothing like to write home about, but it does extend the story of Arkham Origins even more. Like Catwoman, that's where Catwoman makes her like quote unquote debut in the Arkham series. As far as like her first meeting Batman goes, like dude, Bronze Tiger's in it. Like, yeah, bro. And I'm just like so upset we never got him as a boss fight in like the actual Arkham games. Like that'd have been fire.
I still think that they could come back and make a 4th Arkham game and it'd be pretty damn good.
If anyone makes another Arkham game, it's going to be Montreal because Rocksteady is going to keep continuing the Rocksteady universe.
Shout out to let's see. Integrity says if you haven't seen the physical copy Death in the Family, yes, I want to see that. I haven't watched the HBO Max version for that reason. Is like I know that the HBO Max version is one singular story, and I don't want it. Oh no, Kiara, post as much as you want. We love it. We love it. Willie, where you at, bro? Come on.
I'm gonna mention some more like somber Batman moments though, because like Batman does have a lot of badass moments, but there's also the somber moments I think that are also like show his humanity. The two that come to mind to me is there's a whole episode of the animated series, and I think you might know what I'm talking about, Austin, where like he's in the Batcave and he's just like reflecting on everything he's done, and Alfred comes to like, "What's wrong, sir?" He's like, "I'm just tired, Alfred. I'm so tired from fighting this war that seems like it's never ending." And he goes out into the city for his patrol, and I think he basically remembers why he's doing this. But there was like that moment of like his will was weakened for one moment, and it was reignited. Like his will was like toughened out and all that. But it's just like seeing that type of weakness from Batman is nice to see because it shows that he.
It just adds more to that. So I agree. Yeah. It's the same reason why I love, look, I'm not one of those that I'm very picky about, like, the idea of Batman kills or not. I'll be honest, I don't care if Batman kills or not. I understand in certain storylines, it's essential that he doesn't kill, which is why I love, like, the Jason Todd, storyline and stuff like that, is like that, it's essential that he doesn't kill there because it adds that conflict to him.
Yeah.
With him and the Red Hood and that kind of whole, how could you let this, happen, let it go and stuff. And,
I mean, I could quote verbatim the line you're talking about, but we'd be here for a minute.
Love it.
I know that. I know those lines by heart.
That like kind of like I was saying with the Dark Knight Returns, and that when he tells him a man beats you, that line in that comic panel, it's in my brain. I can't quote it, but I can see it. I remember,
from that same comic, the one line that always like goes to me is, and it's in the animated movie too, when he like first starts the fight with Superman and he has him with the electricity. He says, you say you answer to some sort of authority. They only want me dead because I'm an embarrassment, because I do what they can't. What kind of authority is that? And I'm like, oh my God.
I don't, yep. Oh my God.
I can't spin that truth right now.
Dude, so good. I love, that's, I don't know. I think that's why I love the Jason so much.
Yo, it's like the fucking bro, like the comeback was great because Superman's like, it's their world and they won't stand for you anymore. If it isn't me, it'll be someone else. He just goes, really? Who do they send after you? Like,
right? Who are they going to send after?
Freaking StreamYard's dropping the ball, man.
And then
I know, man. Dude,
this one jerks a tear to me. Like, and this is a JLU scene, but it's also from the Batman Beyond episode where Waller explains like, with Ace. With Ace.
I love that episode so freaking much, dude.
They got their weapon. I got cheated out of my childhood. I know what that's like. Oh my God. Like, yo, like he stayed with her until she died. I'm like, oh my
God. That was one of the most powerful.
It's so human.
I've ever seen. And just that, oh my dude, that whole twist. I love, how calm Amanda is. And I love, like, there's a difference in Amanda after all these years that you see it in that little episode.
Yeah.
She's she's a terrible person, but in that episode, she's come to peace with what she's done.
Yeah.
And it is just, oh man, it's sick. That episode is sick. I love
it's
that's
that,
one of my
and I think it's
favorite.
It's one of Batman's best episodes because it shows like how human Bruce is. Like even Amanda says.
But what's great is also you also know is if it came down to that, Batman probably is the only one that would also do it, kill.
Yeah. Well, he was like,
so it was that both were believable, but it's that he still chooses. I'm going to try to convince her. I'm going
to try to save her.
Right. And it just shows, this is why Bruce Wayne is Batman. This is why, that, and it again kind of goes back to Dark Knight Rises, the comfort of Gordon putting a jacket over a kid that just lost his parents. That idea of that he didn't want anybody to suffer how he had suffered.
Yes.
And he would do whatever it took love that scene. Love that scene.
There's also like, this is an underrated episode, but it shows like how much Bruce cares about people. Actually, there's two episodes. The one where he loses his memory and he gets stuck at like some work camp, and when he regains his memory, he basically gives like the two people that were friends to him in the camp like jobs at his company. And then there's the episode with like the Rat King where not the Rat King, but like the Sewer King, where like he has all the kids like kept underground. And when he sees all these like children being exploited, like he just gets super pissed.
Yeah.
Just awesome, man.
Right. Here, let's see here. And then cool. But yes, I agree. That for Batman stuff, I agree. That was amazing, that episode in Justice League Unlimited. But before we close out the show, we are going to do a little music talk. Get into about.
Some, that's right.
About some music.
I was like, wait, where were we before I left?
Right. We are going to do that, but before we do that, we are going to run an ad from one of our sponsors because we haven't done that in a while. We got to shout out our sponsors. These guys are the best. So shout out Kai CBD. Check this little ad out, and if you're interested in some CBD products, make sure and visit www.kaicbd.com.
We are brought to you today by Kai CBD, a Las Vegas-based health and wellness brand that crafts a full-spectrum CBD hemp-derived product line. Made with 100% love, the brand was created by a 20-year licensed massage therapist for her husband who suffers from chronic pain. Healing is what Kai lives for. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram and mention Pop Culture Corner to receive 10% off your order of all or any of their CBD-derived product line. Guys, their website is in the works. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram. The links are in the description below. Mention Pop Culture Corner and get 10% off. This ad is an easy one for me. Easy, as I use the products myself. They are wonderful. So head over, mention Pop Culture Corner, and get 10% off your order of all orders forever.
Yeah, that's right. Come to get your CBD. Like I said, they have a website up now.
I love when Ty goes into like commercial voice mode.
I know. We'll be redoing that soon. But guys, I want to welcome a good friend of mine. You hear his music before our show a lot. So Seasons, and of course it's on today. Ladies and gentlemen, good friend of mine, Willie LV from what's up, man? What's up?
What's up, bro? Thanks for having me, bro.
What's up, man? Got a nice little music crew here now, so we can talk some music. Interesting enough, I have two both you and Ill Life here are rappers. So I want to know, obviously, what and we'll start with you, Ill Life, because you came on the show first episode, you did the performance, all that, and but I mean, you got quite a. I like your music, man, because it tells a story. It tells a story. You're talking about like some real stuff. You're talking about how you grew up and kind of all that type of stuff. So what really got you into rapping? How did you start that? And like, yeah.
Well, music in general. I played drums since I was a little kid. Like I'm talking like I was even like in band and shit in school. You know what I mean? And but then rapping, it was kind of like I'm really gonna be giving my age away here, but guess like the early mid 90s, I guess, like right around the time of like well, not quite Wu-Tang yet, but like Leaders in a New School and Tribe Called Quest and Lords of the Underground, like right before Wu-Tang was basically like when I started writing and getting into it. And it was the kind of thing where where I grew up, like a lot of people like rap, like a lot, like not everybody rapped seriously, not everybody was artists, but people were always just rapping on corners against each other and shit like that, so it was a real like competitive type of environment that molded me into it. Not even battle rap, but just showing off like what you can do, kind of. Okay. Not necessarily like a freestyle battle, but like, this verse I spit, you know what I mean? But,
how that flow is. I got you.
So at the time, like we're going into like 97, 98, my boy Jimmy Brinks that I grew up with, he already had a group in my neighborhood called Prime Suspects. Just him and my boy Danny. And they were like doing shows all the time. They had a deal with an indie label. And me and him just happened to be like drinking 40s on the same steps one night. And he was like, "Oh, you spit," and we knew each other since we were kids. But like my corner, we had a lot of people. There was like fucking 50 to 100 people, like all from the same, we were all from like the same crowd kind of. So it'd be possible that like you wouldn't see someone, we'd break up into divisions and you wouldn't see someone for a while, and like he was always off doing his thing. And like we just happened to bump into each other one night and I'd spit a verse and he was like, "Well, come to the studio with me." And then me and my best friend at the time, I was trying to talk him into starting a group. It was groups were a thing. It was like Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, like Killer Army, all that. Like having a partner was cool back then. Like I wanted to do on stage, I'd wear green camo and he'd wear white camo and shit like that. You know what I mean? And like fucking I went in the studio with him. We did our first like 7-song EP back then, and we're like pushing tapes in like the local cheesesteak place I worked in and shit like that, and started doing shows, started opening up for my boy Jimmy and everything, and then eventually it got to the point where like my boy was like not showing up when we had to be at the studio. He didn't show up for a show one time, and I just did the whole thing by myself, basically, like, and rapped his verses and shit, like shit, like he wasn't taking it as serious, and I was kind of trying to drag him along with it because I wanted to have a partner on stage, instead of just getting a stage man, which I ended up doing eventually, and so right when we were at the tail end of like being a group. And I was talking to him about going solo because my boys dudes in the studio, his beat maker, producer dudes were like, look, this dude's my best friend to this day. Don't get me wrong. I love the dude, but they're like, look, if you get rid of him, like we'll do your whole album for you. We'll do everything free. You know what I mean? Like we just want you to come in and without him because he's holding you back, basically.
Right.
So I talked to him about it and he was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't really want to do this. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead, do what you gotta do. But right at that time, me and him were trying to write a couple more songs at the time. And he wrote this song called Ill Life. And that was like about, our life and shit. Like at the time, it was like going to be like a ballad type of rap song. And he spelled it like how I spell it now with the letters of Philly switched around to spell Ill Life, you know what I mean? And as soon as I looked at it on this, so technically my best friend made my name up in 1998, you know what I mean? And like I looked at the piece of paper because at the time we were Malice and I was Malice and he was Brigade. It was like Malice and Brigade, the Dead Ends. Like it was like a whole Wu-Tang element to it back then in the 90s and everything, Right. And so I looked at the page and I was like, dude, that's my fucking name. Like I'm taking that. Like that's my I don't give a fuck. Like that's gonna be my solo name if I'm going really solo. Dope. You know what I mean? He was like,
I didn't realize that's what it was. I didn't realize it was Philly.
Yeah. Like if you take the PH off the end and put it on the front and push the L's together, it's the same letters. It's like an anagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love shit like that. That's cool.
Well, because I figured, like I've had an ill life. I've seen like where I grew up. But like I'm not one to like brag or glorify the way I grew up. But I grew up very hood. Like I grew up in a place where like, a lot of my friends are dead or doing life in jail for shooting people and shit like that. Like I grew up in a very crazy, lot of drug addiction, just like I was raised by the streets kind of, and, my dad tried to parent me good and stop that from happening, but it just was impossible where I grew up, you know what I mean? Unless I was going to be a hermit and live in my house and never go outside. It's like, the streets get you when you grow up in a place like that. It's like you don't want to, you know what I mean? You want to live, you want to go out, and like you don't realize that like the rest of the world's not like that. You think that's just how it is because you're a kid growing up there and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I figured like my life, I had an ill life. It happened in Philly. So I merged, you know what I mean? Like I was like, this is perfect. Like this totally embodies what I'm trying to do and the story I'm trying to tell and everything, And then I did my first album at that time, like between 98 and 99. And it was a 15 song. Like I actually got cassettes pressed at the time with like covers and everything. And it was called Artistic Suicide. And I was still doing shows with my boy Brinks and everything at the time. Now here's the thing. Here's where the story gets interesting. There's a very like Nas, Mobb Deep, Queensbridge kind of like hip hop neighborhood story behind this that like we just all never got rich, but a very similar type of thing played out, because my boy, hopefully he doesn't see this and get all pissed at me. But my boy Brinks, he ended up eventually getting signed by this label out in LA that used to work with Dre and shit, and he ended up doing a song with Game, the Game, the rapper Game, that was signed with 50 and all. And he got really big, and like, just me and him were different. Like I was always more trying to like I wanted to be commercial enough to like connect to the masses, but at the same time, I didn't want to compromise my artistic vision either. Whereas he was more like, if this is popular, I'm going to do it and sell records type of, you know what I mean? Like he was very like, I just feel like the wrong people in the business got to him and told him, and he was trusting the record label people and all that stuff, so it got to a point where like for the longest time he was number one in the hood and then I was second. And then it kind of started to like, at that point, like I like to the neighborhood, like I kind of started to like overtake that position kind of, you know what I mean? Like to where I became like top dog. And for a while it was awesome. It was like, I mean, I was doing shows like every week, like either one of our bars in the neighborhood or like someone would have a house party and like pay me part of the door to like come and rap and have my DJ dude like DJ the party out and shit like that.
Hell yeah.
And, you know, I was just trunking the tapes to the whole neighborhood. And like everybody was always like, because of like how much I was into it back then and how much I did shows and everything, like the name stuck right away to the point where like even now, if I go out to the bar or something and see all my friends and even my brothers, my dad, like everybody calls me Ills or Ill Life. Like my name hasn't been my real name since like 2000 or something. You know what I mean? Like it's like is who I am. You know,
that's pretty sick.
And my friend, they made Ills up. Like that's what a lot of my friends all call me Ills, and it's like they made that up. It was like they abbreviated my name and started calling me that, and then I started to adopt it and say it on songs and shit like that. So it's a very like authentic rapper story kind of, you know what I mean, looking back on it, like it's you know. And so then after that I actually won there was this contest that Salem had in I think it was like 2000 called the Orby contest, and I won that in Philly, and then I got to open for like Rod Digga and the Outsiders, like Redman's Clique and shit, and I got to meet all of them. And then I was getting really big. Like I was on this website in the 2000s called iSound. That was like, it's kind of like iTunes before iTunes, kind of, or like it was like a cross between like MySpace and iTunes almost.
Okay.
But it was like major artists and indie artists were on there together. It was really big at the time in like the mid 2000s and shit.
Right.
And I was starting to put Urban Ivory together at that time, the second album. Sorry. And I was like, I had like 120,000 followers on there, like subs or whatever. I had like 100,000 plays on all my shit.
Right.
I kept getting put in the top 10 on the homepage of the website and shit. And it was like, I mean, indie labels were starting to reach out to me and shit like that. The only thing is, at the same time, me and my first baby's mom were like in the process of breaking up. And I had a back injury doing hardwood floors, and opiates were starting to creep into my life at the time too. And all kind of at once, I ended up going through an opiate addiction for like 2.5, 3 years. The music shit got put to the side. Then I got clean and tried to get back to it. Was like, had to put the studio back together. I mean, it was a bad addiction. Like I sold all my studio shit at the time. But during this few years that this was going on, apparently like Apple bought the company out that owned that website, shut it down, didn't tell or warn anybody. I had masters like saved in their server of songs and shit.
No.
I had my whole fan list of this 120,000 followers I had out the window. Like I had no emails for them, nothing. And like was just like, fuck, like I'm literally back to square one, you know what I mean? And it kind of sucked, but so, and then after that, I really, in 2010, I actually put Urban Ivory out, like officially, like got CDs pressed. Like even in 2010, there wasn't like you couldn't independently do digital releases yet. Like DistroKid and all that shit hadn't really become what it is now or anything, you know. Right. So I was still doing like consignment deals with indie record stores and shit like that. Like you know. You'd have to pay $1,000 just to get 100 CDs pressed. It was crazy. Like the industry's so much easier now, the way it's set up with digital releases and shit, you know? So, and then I just, I started, you know, producing and everything. Like I started to worry, like, you know, I had kids, I was working a fucking job. It was harder to just be a musician and go around touring clubs and shit like that. So I started focusing on like producing, mixing, recording for other people as a side job and shit like that. And it kind of sidetracked me. And then in the last few years, I was like, fuck this. I'm fucking Ill Life. I got to do another album. And that's how, you know, Alternate Earth, the new one that's almost done, that all the new singles are from. I started working on that finally. So it's just the kind of thing I couldn't let it go, you know. Like I went through a couple periods where like I got sucked into the blue collar cycle and fucking, you know what I mean? But in regards to like what you were saying about me telling a story and everything, it's like it's because of like what, you know, like what I seen like growing up and shit. Like I mean, dude, some of the shit you wouldn't believe like some of the stories I could tell you, dude. Some of like the people I grew up with, like, and the people that were my friends and my corner and everything. Just like I was the musician. I was the one that was like the good one.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was like getting people shit back for them the next day when one of my friends like got all fucked up and robbed somebody or something. I was like, but it's just it's crazy. Like I mean, I've had nights where like I've gone out, just a normal night at the age of fucking 20. I'd drink 840s in a day, be riding around in stolen cars, fucking somebody'd end up getting shot, and the next day I'd fucking wake up and do the whole thing all over again like nothing happened the day before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just normal everyday life. So it's like the music was always a way for me to take the experiences of the people around me and the plight of the neighborhood, if you will, and turn it into a movie kind of on wax. It's like, I mean, I always wanted to write a movie about it too, but,
Yeah.
but the music has been that for me, has been my way. And with the new album, it's funny because if you go back and listen to the older stuff, it's a lot more about the neighborhood and everything. Cause I was, it was before I really had my kids had gotten older and I did the dad thing and all that shit, and then a lot changed between now and then. And then if you listen to the new shit, it's a lot more personal. I still have a couple songs about the neighborhood and everything on there, but there's a lot more like personal about what was going on in my life at the time and shit like that. So it's been a journey. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. But that's amazing. And I love that, you're able to use all of that and not, and I think that's my biggest thing is like with like rap nowadays. I don't listen to a lot of rap actually, but it's just, which no offense, I know it's just, but
I mean, I'll tell you what, I've evolved with it the whole time, and the same thing with listening to it. It changes. It's the next generation. They're doing their thing with it. But if the real shit is still there, you just have to find the right stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because there's tons of new shit I love now. Like I love Kasky, fucking Yellow Wolf's new John. That's fucking the Joyner Lucas John's fire. Even like some of the emo shit, like Lil Peep. I love Lil Peep. Like he's fucking revolutionary on it. Like if he would have lived, he was going to change the whole fucking game. Honestly, like that dude. Like,
right, and right. Brendan, my friend here, also real quick, ladies and gentlemen, Big Stat Daddy.
What's popping now?
What's up?
But then every once in a while, I still need my dose of like fucking Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep and Big. You know what I mean? But I can listen to the new stuff just as much. You know what I mean? Like respect it, see what it. You got to like hear it from where they're coming from. You know what I mean? You have to like I think I love the fact that hip hop. Like I mean, I grew up in the generation that watched it happen, basically. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in the generation that like hip hop came into existence, kind of, and to see it go from like when I first started rapping and when I was getting into hip hop in high school and shit, when it was really starting to blow up, like the music, like award shows wouldn't even consider it music. Like the music industry wouldn't consider it music. You know what I mean? Like it had such an uphill battle, and to see that now it's to the point where it's touching every genre of music there is. Hip hop has influence on it now, and hip hop itself has like broken off into like 18 fucking subgenres now and shit. Right. And it's just amazing the journey that's happened from the 80s to now with it as a music form. It's fucking incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And dude, that's incredible. And interestingly enough, I think kind of like you were saying, I think Willie, you kind of have a similar spot in that, like, well, your name's not Willie, but you kind of, we've all adapted, and everybody that knows you, whenever you go out, it's Willie.
Right. Yeah.
But what about you, dude? Obviously, you have obviously been doing music for a long time as well, and what got you into all of it and writing how you do? Because you also write not the typical, I think, like. Right. No offense, ass and titties is great. Shout out.
Yeah, I want to check his stuff out. You got to send me his link after this so I can check.
Yeah. I'll put while you're explaining, Willie, I'll put everybody's link in the chat there. So, but yeah, what got you?
Well, I mean, similar to you, Ills. I my first instrument was the drums, and I kind of I taught myself how to play the drums around like age 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then I ended up like falling in love with music through that, just like putting in headphones and jamming to like anything. And then I learned how to play guitar when I was about like 13. And then I got into a couple rock bands in high school playing guitar. And that's how I fell in love with music and making music. And then I was exposed to Kid Cudi when I was I don't even know how old, man. Probably 13, 14, 15 maybe. And that's when I always loved like all types of music, really. I wouldn't say like I didn't love
I forgot to bring that up, but me too.
Yeah.
I'm all over it. Like I love synthwave, I love Slipknot, I love
Right.
punk, I love, you know what I mean? Like, and I
Yeah.
try to bring it all into the beats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly, like a fusion. But yeah, when I found Cudi, I fell in love with hip hop. And that's when I started writing lyrics. Because in the bands, I never really wrote the lyrics. I was just writing the music. And then when I fell in love with like hip hop and Cudi, I started writing lyrics, and that was like kind of became like another form of therapy, of like just being able to put like my feelings into words in ways that I like didn't feel comfortable expressing to like people face to face.
Yeah.
I was able to like say it to the microphone, and then people could hear it through there, and they could kind of get a glimpse of what's going on with me without me having to like go through that tough like expression like face to face with someone, like exposing yourself like that. So
Right.
which is interesting because your music's going to be heard by more than like one person so really you're kind of like exposing yourself on a higher level, but it just feels way different. And it also feels like you can make it kind of cool and like acceptable instead of, so you don't feel as vulnerable because you feel like you're doing it in a cool way or something that people like. Sometimes they don't even know what you're talking about. They just think it sounds dope and they can rock with it. So
Right.
meanwhile, you're like talking about some deep ass shit, and they're just like, oh, shit. But yeah, I think we got similar situations too, in the way that like you grew up in a city where that's like mad different, and like we did too over here. I know Austin can relate. Like growing up in Vegas is like the same shit. You think everything's like Vegas, but then you like leave Vegas and you're like, whoa. We're the ones that are like different. Like holy shit.
Stores close at 8:00. That's
Yeah,
wild.
right.
Yeah.
Now they're closing.
What do you mean I can't walk down the street and smoke pot and drink in public? Like,
Hold on, wait a minute.
Down the street, what?
Right.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird growing up in Vegas. You're like super exposed to all the vices and everything that usually kids wouldn't be exposed to that early, but it's just kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it in Vegas, so it's like money, sex, drugs, like that's like all Vegas is about.
yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So growing up here, it's like it's a different experience, but I think it's kind of cool because you don't really I know some people grow up in a bubble and then they get exposed to it like at an older age and then they go crazy with it. But I think kids that grow up in Vegas kind of get sick of all that shit really young. Like by the time you're 21, you're like, nah.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm done. I'm over it. Exactly. Yeah, you've done it. I mean, I agree, and that's true. So what for you, like, what do you guys think of the current state of music? I know Life, you kind of talked about like you like how it's evolving, or hip hop,
Look, don't get it twisted. The radio shit has always sucked, no matter what generation, what time you're talking about.
Right.
But I think the way that the independent game has been broke wide open, I think it's great. I think it's a great time in music. You know what I mean? Even if the popular shit isn't always the best. I mean, it was the same thing back in the 90s. It was the same thing in any generation. The popular shit is always going to be the popular shit. But I think there's way more of a well of music to find now than there ever has been in history. You know what I mean? And I think it's easier now for an independent artist to just make the music he wants to make, have his fan base, and make a living from it without having to blow up and be super famous and have a record label as a gatekeeper. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And I do think it's a great time in music, honestly.
I agree. I think it's the best time to make music for sure, because you have like getting your shit out there is way more accessible. Like you can like you were saying earlier, DistroKid is at a point now like it's cheap as hell. It's like,
yeah, it's insane. Like all you need, dude, if you would, I'm telling you, in the 90s, if you would have seen what we had to go through, I mean, just to get any kind of name locally, let alone all over the fucking world in the palm of my hand. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we literally like we'd have to set up the shows, we fucking press the CDs, get posters made, put flyers all over telephone poles. You know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. It was, and all this just to get big enough locally that some local DJ might notice you enough to mention you to a next step up, and so on and so on, just to get noticed by a record label, basically. You know what I mean? Like, because like either that or you had to be like a crack dealer until you had enough money to buy a record to start your own record label, you know. But like, I wasn't a good crack dealer, so you know. Like...
No, it makes me feel kind of ungrateful that I'm always complaining about like how hard it is to release music, but at the same time, it's like easier than it's ever been. But you know, like I'm always like, oh man, I gotta figure out the album artwork, or I gotta like buy it from someone, have someone like draw it, or I gotta get the fucking mix and the master.
Dude, I've actually had like printing operations going on in my house, because I used to like another part I left out of that was like there was a point in time when like every person and their mother in my neighborhood that rapped wanted to come through my beats, come through my studio at one time once I had my shit really popping. And a lot of them I did. Like I kind of had this big, my shit was called Row Home Records back then. And I had like a whole clique of like 12 different other Southwest rappers around my way that like I was doing albums for them. We were doing compilation mixtapes and shit like that. And I would make everybody's covers and press CDs, and I would buy like the kits where you make it yourself and cut the cardboard out and get the laser printer. And then I have like 6 boxes of the color ink and everything because they would keep running out as I was printing them. And those CDs people would be handing you at the subway and shit. Like I made those for my artists and shit. That's you know what I mean? Back then, like it was like.
That's cool. I can relate to that too. Having everybody, we built a studio in my dad's backyard probably like 5 or 6 years ago now. And I remember for a while, once we got that ball rolling, it was insanity.
I remember going in the closet with the mic and coming out like, okay, I just lost 10 pounds doing that verse because be covered in sweat, like fucking like carpet padding on the walls and shit like that, and the mic's hanging in this little like fucking tiny triangle closet, and like
I can't speak as like experience as being a musician, but like I'm friends with a local rapper in our area, and I've been with this dude since high school, man. Like I remember he was passing out like one of his albums like in the school hallways, and like that, like the summer after like I graduated, like my man had such a grind to get this album out that like he stayed like the entire summer. It was like 90, like it was like a hot ass summer. Like summer 2015 was hot for us in the South, and he stayed in like this tin shed because that's where he made his studio at, was his parents' tin shed. He was in there literally every single day and night during summer grinding, and he would like. I was basically like his assistant at this point because he like called me up like, "Hey man, I need you to come over and like listen to this beat, see what you think. Listen to how this verse goes with it. Tell me what you think." And like. Yeah, he ended up like having to give that album away as the sample, and I'm just like, you really like this. It was such a good album. I was like, bro, you really should have charged for this album. Like, in all honesty, you really should have. Like, I know you got to put something out there to like get people interested in you, but like
that's the thing. Back in the day, before there was the ability of like all these social media platforms and all that shit, you kind of had to do that. That was like how you got your name out there in the first place. You know what I mean? To make
Yeah.
them want to buy something down the line. You know what I mean? You had.
I mean, he did like an old school approach to it too. But like, there's like a local record shop that they were really cool. They were like, yeah, if you have like any like mixtapes or albums that you want to give away for free, there's a basket over there. Because I was basically like his assistant, I went to that record shop 3 times. They were just gone, like just completely. Like I was like, are all of them gone? Like, yeah, people kept taking them. I'm like, shit. All right, I'll just bring them back. Like 3 times, and I'm like I was just thinking, like if he had sold this album, how oh my god, man, like he's found success. Like he's about to actually go on like a local tour, like to different states and all that. But yeah, like the grind is hard. The thing that he's having is like the thing that I would say is like his biggest crutch is that like in our area, like the Southeast, like supporting local like artists supporting artists is supposed to be like the mindset, but it's really hard for people to do that because like they just don't do it. Like they don't support each other. Like it's just insane to me.
Hip hop in general, it's unless you got a clique that came in together, you're rarely going to see. I mean, it's one thing to be cool with people backstage and shit like that, but it's another thing to like cross promote each other. It's really all very competitive. You know what I mean? That's the thing about the element of it. Like,
well, these people are supposed to be his boys and everything, and like he had like a group that like he came up with, but like it's just been insane to me. Like I've been like, this dude, like my man should literally be like not like making it big, but like he should at least be like known in the Southeast, and like it's just because of like. There's a lot of things that I could point fingers at, but just one of them is like at least in our own state, like he's like everyone's like, yeah, man, I got you, and it's just like false promises, and I'm just sitting here like I don't understand this. Like as an outsider looking in, I'm like I don't understand like why it's so hard to not promote someone else that's supposed to be your friend.
Yeah, I'll tell you, another thing too. That was funny thinking about the differences between before and now too, is the equipment and the money it took to get into it in the first place. Like. Back then, like now, it's my computer. Like if I like back then, we had a room full of machines. Like just to be able to make a song, we had like a couple synthesizers. Then they were MIDI'd to an MPC 2000, and then we had a bunch of floppy disks for the MPC 2000 that would have drum kits on them and shit like that. Then the MPC 2000 would go to. I had a Roland VS880, which was like a digital recording board. Which basically did like how you record with a DAW, but it was on a digital board. Now, the MPC, $2,800. The Roland VS880, $2,800. The synths, like 800 and 1,000 each. You know what I mean? Like the whole room ended up over the years costing like 10 G's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now my computer and my DAW and all the VSTs I've bought and everything, I've probably in the last couple of years put like 800 into it, I'd say. But what I have compared to what I had for $10,000 back then, it's like for me to have what I have in my computer now in actual machines back then would have cost like $200,000. You know what I mean? But
Jesus.
now I can have it all in my computer in virtual versions of it for like $400 and I'm set. And I can record, make beats, do everything. I can fucking sample live instruments, whatever the fuck I want to do, make scores, whatever, and it's incredible how much more accessible the technology has become to even be able to be a professional sounding musician in the first place. Whereas back then, the money was a gatekeeper. Like you had to fucking save up, you know what I mean? Get your family to lend you some money, whatever, you know what I mean? Just to be able to get machines in the first place to make a decent sounding demo, you know what I mean? That people would want to listen to, like. Because sound quality was huge. Like, I mean, at least where I like with my friends and shit, they like if you were making shit and it didn't sound like Jay-Z or DMX or whatever was popular at the time, sound quality wise, they were gonna be like, "This is a fucking joke. Turn this off." You know what I mean? Like I'll tell you what, I've always said, like, I've never had a problem on a stage. I could go in front of the biggest crowd, whatever. I've done clubs with like 800 people. And I have no problem at all. I'm completely comfortable. You know why? Because like the first 4 or 5 shows I ever did was like ground level in front of my whole fucking neighborhood and everybody I grew up with them in a circle around me. And it was the biggest fucking challenge of like will and getting over my fears ever to where
those people
nothing will ever like I could do the fucking Madison Square Garden and it wouldn't compare to the first show I ever did in the fucking VFW in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like never. Like it was the most
That's funny.
Because they were the harshest critics. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They knew me. They knew whether what I was saying was true or not in the songs, shit like that. You know what I mean? And it's like I had to make them. I had to earn their fucking respect. You know what I mean? And I did. To the point where they're all behind me now. They have been the whole time. You know what I mean? Like
That's what's up. That's
Exactly.
sick.
Exactly. Willie, do you find the same kind of similar thing here in Vegas with the community here, and Zach too? Because I know Zach, you're very involved in just kind of talking with a lot of artists and management and stuff like that. So do you guys see the kind of same thing that Il was talking about, like the hardness in getting people to cross promote and to help out?
Well, honestly, I'm just going to go before Billy because I just want to say Billy is the one person or probably one of the two people I've ever met that has the ability to bring good people around all the time. And pretty much every artist that, like, for the most part, Will A, not Billy. I know him as Little Billy. He's my cousin. But, Will A, Will A has an ability just to, like, connect with people on just such a genuine level that, for the most part, everybody...
Is that's your MC name, Roulette? Is that just...
yeah,
that's dope. I like that, especially with the Vegas thing. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Like,
yeah, but he has an ability just to connect with people on like such a genuine level. Like you can put him in front of anybody. It doesn't matter if it's like a homeless man or like the CEO of a company. Like Billy will have a conversation, and it is the most genuine, like fluid thing you'll ever hear. And so everybody that he's come in contact with, for the most part in music, promotes him, and Billy does the same thing also, and that's a very rare thing. So I'd agree with Il, because it is a very, very rare thing to find people, to kind of cross promote, and because at a certain point people will start to feel some type of way, whether you get more plays, or maybe their quality of their stuff isn't as good as yours, or or they just get tired of it, think I already posted it twice, I already posted something 3 times for you, like I've done my part. When in reality,
I found in my experience, it has to be like financially beneficial to both involved, I mean, not that it's fake, but it's more like a business move to for that, like if we're gonna do a show, like let's cross promote each other or whatever, know what I mean? But like the other person has to be getting a benefit out of it to like really do it, like it's like.
But yeah, I think Billy could speak more on as far as like him personally, what he feels. But yeah, I would have to say that Billy's a special case in Vegas, because I see a lot of people in Vegas that are super sick and super dope, but they just don't seem to get the same amount of love for whatever reason. I mean, like you said, maybe it's for people don't see a financial benefit for promoting or different things like that. They're worried about their bread rather than other people's. But yeah, Billy could probably tell you way more about the subject.
Yeah, I think, well, like you were saying, bro, genuine connections are the only ones like worth nurturing, right? So like you guys like have both lived at the studio at different times, like and brought people around there. So like you guys are a huge part of that genuine atmosphere that we built. So like that's obvious. That's like you said, that's pretty like rare and crazy. But yeah, I think the wackest way to like try to garner support is to just like never talk to anybody, and then whenever you drop something, just slide in the DMs with the link and say like,
I hate that so often. It's so true, dude. It's so true. It's
like a lot of people don't want to support, but they want everyone's support when it's their turn. So like I don't know. I think it's really cool to build genuine support with people, and people you don't have to ask to like post your stuff. Because if you have to ask, then like I don't know, you're probably going
you're
about
you're missing a step. That's what what I mean. Yeah, like you're not. Yeah.
Right, and like, and sometimes you'll let people know, and like, but if you're just going out there and just like copy pasting a generic message to everybody trying to get them to
check my new shit.
Yeah. They try to make it sound personable. They'll write out like, just be like, "Hey, bro, like long time, like
right? Yeah, it's been a minute."
The worst is when it's like some dead ass regular person, and they're like, I promote this person, such and such. You should check out their shit. I'm like, that makes me want to say it even less. Like,
you couldn't even do that.
Like they couldn't send the message themselves. Like,
right. No, but Vegas is pretty cool. I think there's a lot of energy being put towards like the community in Vegas right now. So
for sure.
So people are kind of trying to like bring the city up together. I think it's like the first time I've seen it like actually start to take form like this, because the like ever since I was little, like I remember artists that were trying to like pop in Vegas, and they can never make it anywhere because they were like secluded. Like it
What
was
about
rare.
like I got a question. What's the element like because I know I've often had those moments in my life throughout my music career where I've thought like I'm just gonna pack all this shit in a van and go to LA and start rapping on street corners until someone important fucking sees me. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I would think like with Vegas, like you probably get a lot of like celebrity element coming through there and shit, right? Like music, like that possibly you could like get some, something to someone maybe or something, camp out front of a place. Like
I mean, like, I don't know. The thing about that is, I feel like in LA and places like that, like, there was a more organic growth, and like these small, like, hole in the wall spots are like frequented by big name people.
yeah, that's
But
true. Yeah,
In
definitely. Yeah.
Vegas, it's not really like that. Like, you don't just run into like a celebrity. Like,
Unfortunately, yeah, Jay-Z ain't gonna be at Oddfellows place.
right.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, well, I was thinking too. Like, I figure, like, I'm sure, like, you guys have friends that work in the casinos and shit like
Yeah.
that, right? Like,
Right.
that,
Yes.
like, maybe, like, oh, well, this person's staying here, like,
Yeah.
I just figure you never know, like, maybe
And that's your best
connection
bet.
happening that way or something, like,
That's your best bet for sure. But yeah, it's if any celebrities coming to perform here or something, they're going to the casino that they're probably performing at, and they're staying there, and they're going through all the back hallways.
yeah, and their helicopters on the roof, right? Like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
they're probably only going. Yeah, they're only showing up because they're getting paid like 30, 40, 50 grand to walk around for 30 minutes, and then they're out to the
Yeah, I
next
got
spot. Probably, yeah.
But I'm sure you could get lucky sometimes, like if they're gamblers or something, they
I feel
decide
like
to go to
the
the
I
casino.
feel like the
for-
biggest reason why though is because like we haven't necessarily had somebody come up and like really establish themselves as like a Las Vegas artist on like a main stage. So yeah, so it's hard. It's that we don't have that like spot to go to where like somebody's already blown up, because like we have one or two people here that are doing really well, but they either came from an outside spot and kind of set up shop here, and they kind of cut it all off, and they're like, okay, this is mine. I made this. Like, this is our spot type of thing.
Yeah, I got you.
But but like Billy said, we actually have a friend who also helps out a lot with Billy's music. His name's Nate, and he does a lot of the groundwork for us too, for our little studio collective thing that we have going on. It's called Little Big City Studios, and he's actually does a very, very phenomenal job of going around and actually connecting with other people, other artists, and kind of networking, creating those super genuine connections. But yeah, we're definitely on the come up, as Billy said. There's definitely a movement in the city to try to bring everybody to up together, because it's kind of hard to pop off by yourself, especially like whenever making music is so readily available and easier now, where everybody's kind of trying to be an artist, or everybody wants to be a musician or be
that was like the
character.
same. I kind of went through the same thing with my thing. Like I said,
Yeah.
I had a group of people. We were trying to make like our Rockefeller at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Exactly.
Rough Riders, whatever, you know what I mean? And the problem was for the most part, I was like the one holding everybody's hand, and like I'm like, I just spent $8,000 on this equipment. Nobody wants to put up money for studio time, yada yada yada. And eventually, I just ended up, they all ceded away. Like I realized like I'm not getting anywhere in my own career because I'm too busy trying to make this whole big thing happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like I felt like a director that was like trying, like you're going to be this part of the label. You're going to be this. You're going to be this. You're going to be this. And then eventually I was just like, I'm just going to be my first artist, and that's that. Like, you know what I mean? And then we'll figure it out from there after the fact. Like,
well, you want control, right? You want like.
I even had a punk band at the time on the fucking label.
That's
like, like they were like like pop punk, like Blink 182. Like they were called 007. They were pretty good, but
right.
Heck yeah. Well, yeah, and look, I think as far as being in the Vegas community, I think there's a nice little arts community here. I think for music, for film, for like even just like artists, like straight up painters and all that type of stuff. Like it's growing more. And I think I think LA and California, people over there are starting to realize that because I don't know much about the music stuff, but I do have some connections in the film community here and stuff, and that's starting to get a little more popular and bigger. Like you're starting to see actually some people from Vegas go to Hollywood as directors or as producers or writers and things.
I'll tell you what, a lot of the like non-comic book YouTube channels I watch, like regular stuff, are always like end up being like Vegas channels, like Vegas people.
I've actually noticed that too. Yeah.
But I think it's all of it is open for everybody to collaborate. I think, kind of like you said, Billy, you're a unique case in that, everybody that seems to meet you seems to like you piece of crap. But no, I'm
that's a nice touch.
I don't know about that.
No. But I think outside of you, I'll be honest.
Oh, you know what? Wait. Well, I got other musicians other rappers on here, like hip hop people on here. Have you guys watched the Woo An American Saga on Hulu?
Yes, I love it.
Season two just started. The first 4 episodes. It's amazing, dude. It's so real and so not overdone. You know what I mean? I put a tweet out the other day. I was like, out of all the hood story shows, movies I've seen, whatever, that like really to me, like it feels the most authentic to like my own experience, what I seen, kind of. You know what I mean? And I love how it's like not overdone in the sense that like Riz's mom gives a shit, you know what I mean? And he doesn't want to be in the street, like nothing's glorified. It's not a story about kids becoming gangsters. It's a story about kids trying to escape the hood with music. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I love about it, dude. Like, it's so great. Like,
it's very well done. Very well done.
But before we do close out, I do want to thank everybody, but I also wanted to give a little shout out to the guy under me here, Zach, the Stat Daddy podcast. Just launched last week.
Yes,
I know you couldn't be here earlier. We had a nice fun little sports talk.
I was so sad the house was too loud, or else I would have hopped in. I don't want to interrupt the stream.
You're good. You're good. But yeah, man, tell us a little bit about that. I know that's going to be every Thursday, but what's that about? What can people look forward to and expect? And if you're a sports fan, there you go.
There you go. Big screen. There we go. Getting me all nervous. I'm gonna start blushing, guys. But at the Stat Daddy podcast, basically, at the moment I'm focusing on fantasy sports because it's kind of my bread and butter. It's something that I've always been interested in, and just me myself, I love speaking about sports, talking about sports, basketball, football, even like international soccer or football. But I don't really have too many people to talk about sports with in my personal life. And anytime I get obsessed with something, I'm obsessed. So while football season's on, it's kind of all I talk about. So Austin was kind enough to convince me to just start a podcast because, why not just talk to the camera instead? So I wanted to be kind of like you're kind of shooting the shit with the boys at the bar. You know what I mean? Kind of sit back and enjoy. Kind of, as I said, feel like you're at a bar or just with your homies talking about sports. I'm going to be bringing a lot of my different friends on, a lot of colleagues that also like sports. I like to focus on the data side of things. I'm actually trying to go back to school to become a data analyst so I can become a sports analyst properly. But until then, I'm just going to be doing my podcast, having my friends come on. We have different segments. For example, we have one called Toxic Takes. It's where my friends come on and just say some wild stuff about their favorite sports team, maybe if they're homers or whatever it may be. There's some Eagles talk earlier, some Cowboys talk earlier. This week I have my friend my Kuya Josh coming on. He's a diehard Seahawks fan who has very, very unrealistic standards. So that's going to be, I already know, an amazing conversation to have. But like I said, I like to focus on the analytics of things, like to break things down. I like to see how the numbers reflect the game and kind of, see what the eye test can deceive you. Try to break it down, try to see what's going on. But check it out. Episodes are going to be dropping every Thursday before Thursday football. Should be around noon. Subject to change though, because we are just starting. And really excited. And once again, I want to thank Austin for bringing me on and for producing my show and convincing me to even start. So appreciate it.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Anytime, man.
Anytime, man.
Sounds dope.
Yeah, dude, it's
fun.
really entertaining. I don't really watch a lot of sports outside of football. I don't watch a lot of sports analysis. I don't say. I'll watch the games and stuff. But as somebody that doesn't watch any of that stuff, it was super entertaining. It was a lot of fun. So guys, make sure and go check that out.
It's funny. I'm like the reverse. Like the whole reason I do this like comic book DC stuff on my show is because in my life, all I have is people to talk about sports. Like, and my friends know nothing about geek culture.
You know, your comic friends are here.
Yeah,
It's
like
funny
I go out to the bar and it's instantly like, you see the Eagles? Fucking bums.
Jalen Hurts is a fraud. Yeah, different shit like that. I'm sure.
Yeah, did anybody see the end of last season? Like, I'm so sick of being like, Jalen Hurts is going to be good. Like, okay, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they tear up the awful Atlanta defense week 1, and everyone thought he was the truth. But anyways, that's good. That's going to be a topic of conversation.
That was the
on
joke
this
at
week's
work
episode.
today. It was like, the Eagles are back to normal. Like,
but hey, Ill Life, why don't you go ahead and also let everybody know where they can find you about your show. Tell us a little bit about your show, Snyder Avenue, and
yes, Sunday nights, 10:30, 10:35 technically. Snyder Ave every Sunday night. Usually Austin's there and other people, Enosh, some of the 4 nerds and stuff like that. It's a good time usually, and you can find my music too on my YouTube channel, Ill Life, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. And so please like and subscribe on my channel too. I need them right now. Like,
right.
I'm just getting into the YouTube game. I'm like,
hey man, we got you, Suri. We're your nerd fam. We're always here for you. Anytime. Metaverse, let us tell us about this Spidey hashtag.
Loving.
Let us know where how we can help and where they can find you.
Yeah. If y'all want to, please, for the love of God, please help me get this thing moving on. Because I seriously think that, like a long story short, with Activision being as much shit as it is, they need all the good PR they can get, and I'm trying to help them out. So, hashtag remaster Spidey if you want to see all. If you want to see all the previous Spider-Man games from like 2000 onward on modern consoles. And as far as I go, you can find me on YouTube. I'm going to send the link right now. If you use that link there, you can find my YouTube channel. I've been doing a couple of streams. I've been getting into the YouTube game myself as well. Recently just did a stream yesterday that's quite controversial, apparently, with where I ranked all the anime that I have currently seen. Ooh, and there's a lot that I haven't seen that everyone has been shitting on me for.
I can tell you, Zach might be interested.
I'm going to be in your comment section.
Zach, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I have not seen any of Dragon Ball.
Honestly, it's not essential.
Or One
really
Piece.
Controversial. Okay, that's a little different.
Or Fairy Tail.
Oh, that's
hold on. Zach, I'll go ahead and spoil part of it for Zach. So for me, I did fantastic. So I had 2 sections that aren't in normal tier list. I did will not watch and haven't seen yet. One Piece is in. I will not watch.
That's what they all say.
It's 900 episodes. Screw you. I'm not dedicating my life to that. But no.
Hey man, I just started it.
I have some other streams on there. I'm going to be doing more streams in the future.
Is that what it is?
And you can find me on Twitter at the most meta.
Is that the hashtag?
You can also I have a podcast called Talking Meta. You can find me on all podcasting platforms.
Heck yeah. And what's the platform?
Oh shit, the lag is real.
Oh god.
Is that Metaverse? Is that the hashtags remaster Spidey?
Right.
I think he might have copped out. I think StreamYard's messing up today, man.
For real.
Bad. But and then of course my good friend. Look at him. Well, where can they find you? Let them know what you got. Anything coming up? Any new releases? I put your Spotify in the link there, and you have a dragon. Yeah. So tell us, man. Tell us about your where we can find you.
First of all, it looks like I don't have any shirts. But I assure you, I have more.
He's wearing the one shirt he has, people. So please go follow him on Spotify.
I hang it up before I go to bed. Anyways, all my social media. What up, Sri? Sray.
Focus.
Yeah, so all my social media is WillALV at WILLAYLV. And anything that I will do in life, I will probably post there. So like honestly, like that's the best. Yeah, best thing you could do is link up with me on there. I'll follow you back, and we could be friends. And what up?
Right?
Bring me
Yeah.
back. Bring me back.
I'll just close it out with Will on it.
That's so
So guys,
scary.
Will close out the show.
It's intimidating, huh?
Scary.
he's like, oh my gosh.
It's like the
but
awkward
guys,
close up.
there he is.
Oh, there's Meta.
Good freaking grief, man. StreamYard is shit. Can I go? Let me try that
That is a
again.
hack.
Let me try that again.
Yeah, dude, what's the hashtag? That's what
Caden?
we were asking.
Caden,
Oh,
I heard that.
Oh god.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Be nice. Be nice.
And also,
I'm literally about to stone cold stun this man. Okay, yeah, no. I put the link in the chat for Sharif's. If you could, but I don't know if
No,
it'll
we
like
can't
actually.
see the. We can't see.
Oh, I'll put it in. I'll put it in.
Please, thank
Cool,
you.
cool, cool.
But yeah, like I was saying, like if y'all want to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am doing streaming right now for the moment, but when my situation is a little bit better off, I'm gonna be making more unique content and all that. So please look forward to that. But right now, my streams are mostly gaming and anime based, and that's only because like on everyone else's channel, y'all have comic books covered pretty much. So
Yeah,
I gotta like expand my horizons basically. Like what
Get in
aren't they talking
get in
about?
where you fit in, right?
Yeah.
Facts.
And I mean, I talk about movies and stuff on my podcast. Again, Talking Meta. Just look us up on any podcasting platform. Should very soon be releasing 2 episodes where me and a very special guest we go over the MonsterVerse movies. I know this one's been delayed for a minute, but I finally have them recorded and I'm about to drop those probably. I want to say probably sometime next month. So look forward to those.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, man. Well, with that, guys, thank you guys.
And Austin,
all.
where can everyone find you?
That's the most important one, actually. Yeah. Where can they find you,
Yeah.
Austin?
Where
Deer
can they
head.
find you, Austin?
Is he frozen?
No,
Oh
he's
my
not. His eyes are moving.
Wait, did Zach go? Zach didn't go, did he?
If you don't know where to find me,
Then you're just.
then you messed up. But you know what? I'm here on the Pop Culture Corner. Alien LV1023 is of course always on all my my tweeters and Instagrams and OnlyFans, all that stuff. So go check it out, guys, and make sure and tune in next Monday for episode 4 of Lean on Me. Jiving with Jack is tomorrow here on the Pop Culture Corner, and then of course the Stat Daddy Podcast is on Thursdays over on the Stat Daddy Podcast YouTube channel. So check that out as well. And all the links to all the people that you saw here today are in the chat. Ill Life Spotify, Willie's Spotify, Stat Daddy Podcast YouTube, and Metaverse YouTube. So guys, thank you so much for being here. You guys are the best.
Yeah, my link to my channel is finally in the chat. So please, for the love of God,
And
get to
it's
it.
being removed as
subscribe
we
right now.
speak
I
later
don't
on.
do it.
I don't know
Don't
if
do
that's
it.
Zack Snyder's Justice League take, Meta. I don't know if I can.
Hold on. Who's saying this?
Oh. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will
I'm
see
just
you.
joking. I'm just messing with you.
3.